Welcome to the Harbor Site. Very exciting. 001.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah, man. For like 6 years, they've been asking, hey, Nick, get a special amphibious reconnaissance corpsman on the show. And holy shit, we did it, man.
You got one.
I got one. It only took me 6 years. I'm like, Will, let's do it. Will, let's do it. Will, let's do it. Babe, was that your music? Did you go out and get your? Is that where I heard that music from?
Did I go get that song?
No, but is that Miserable Cow music?
It's one of the ones I
thought you
kept in the repertoire.
You just snuck that in. I see how you did that.
But it sounds like you know.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I thought it was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Hindsight, we probably should have like dropped some beats or something.
For me.
Yeah, for you.
Platinum Will.
Yeah, for Platinum Will. All right, listen, guys. So here's the deal. So Will and I actually served on a team together, and then we were actually in Oki together. And I have a deep, a deep love and appreciation for these guys because of what they do, and to be honest, they're some of the weirdest human beings that I've ever met. We're gonna get thanks. we're gonna get into that. So you joined the Navy back when?
2003, June 26th.
And where you from?
Maryland, Eastern Shore, Maryland. Got to say Eastern Shore because everyone always thinks about Baltimore and all that. I'm not from over there.
No, don't lump me
in with Baltimore people.
So, all right, Platinum Will. So you joined in 2003, and then give me the rundown.
Man, so, all right, well, how it all happened is I was sitting in gym class one day. My grandfather was a Department of Natural Resources police, so I wanted to kind of follow in his footsteps. I wanted to be a flight paramedic, but you got to be a street cop before you can be a flight paramedic, and I wasn't about that life. So I was sitting in gym class one day, and this guy came in, and I was sitting there, and he was like, "Yeah, I just joined the Navy or whatever." And I said, "Well, man, that sounds pretty good." So like 2 weeks.
Why
later,
the Navy though? Like
my grandfather was in the Navy.
Okay.
I had went back and forth between like the Coast Guard and the Navy. Like a search and rescue swimmer always got my attention. Yeah. But somehow joined the Navy, and like school ended, and 2 weeks later I was at boot camp.
So like like the movie with Kevin Costner.
Yeah,
yeah. That was actually a pretty badass movie.
They did that right, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I
thought so too.
It was good. Kevin Costner, man. Come on.
I know. All right, so you said, all right, screw it, Navy.
Yeah. I don't really think about a whole lot about things. I kind of just act.
No kidding.
Yeah, surprisingly. Surprise. So yeah, I kind of just did it, and then I initially went in to be whatever. I was going to be worked on airplanes or something like that.
Like a
airman apprentice was the name.
Oh, okay.
And then we got there at boot camp, and they were like, they need corpsmen. They were like, we'll give y'all $3,000 more if you sign up to be a corpsman. I was like, money talks.
And back then, three
grand for a 17-year-old? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're like,
bro.
You need extra year of your life? Don't worry about it. I'll do 2. Just give me the money. So that's what made me be a corpsman. Then I went off to corpsman school in Great Lakes. It was just right down the road from boot camp.
And how long is that?
I think it was 12 weeks. Something like that. I can't remember the exact time. It was about 12 weeks.
What do you do in corpsman school? Like in my mind, it's like sticks and rags for
no, it's
for
not
12
even.
weeks.
It's not even that.
No.
It's very basic anatomy, physiology, very basic treatment plans.
Okay.
Extremely basic everything. You know what I mean? Because you've dealt with regular corpsmen. No offense.
Yeah.
To anybody.
I love all you guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But you guys don't do any live tissue. You're not doing.
No, my goodness. No.
Okay.
No, it's very, very dumbed down. I think hindsight, maybe that's a harsh criticism. It's not a criticism at all. It just is what it is.
Well, I kind of talk about those things too. They're like, well, how hard is, BRC? How hard is selection? It's like, you got to understand, it's a sliding scale as you progress in life and as you get older. What you thought, you might have thought recruit training was difficult when you were 17, 18 years old, but looking back at it at 30, when you've gone through all these other things, it's like, that was a fucking joke.
Lightweight.
That was lightweight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can say that, but I mean, was there PT there, like in core school?
You know what? Maybe. I can't remember. It's just gone.
It's so
It's
so
very-
insignificant that it never even happened.
No.
But it's not a difficult school to
No,
pass.
not at all. Not at all.
Like you don't have a huge attrition
no,
rate. And
no. I'm nothing, you know.
he's playing himself down. The dude's a wizard. But
So if I can do it, I think, you know, all you have to do is do the work, right?
Yeah.
Just do the work, pay attention.
well, it's hard
know,
for some people to
It
do.
is.
Yeah.
It is. Some people's priorities is jammed up.
All right, so you get through Corpsman school, and then what?
All right, Corpsman school. So back up to boot camp. Initially, probably not to anyone's surprise, because usually when you go in the Navy, the first special ops community you think of is the SEALs.
Of course.
I think they're the most publicized, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But they told me my ASVAB wasn't high enough. So I was like, I didn't question it. I didn't say, what can I do to make it high enough? I was just, okay.
Okay.
And then was it Corpsman school when they had like a pool there, and there were some dudes doing some kind of Indoc for Recon or something like that, and I was like,
At Great Lakes?
yeah, but it might have just, I don't know what it was. I can't remember. HM1 Walker, I believe, was the guy that was up there. He was a SARC. Yeah, I don't know exactly what they were doing, but I know it caught my attention at that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is where I'm going next then. You know, I know I wanted to do something
Don't
like that.
they have a SEAL something? Don't SEALs do something up there too?
I don't know.
I think they have some sort of training up there.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Anyways.
Navy Special Warfare Preparatory School.
No. Anyways. Okay. Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you graduate,
Yep. Camp Johnson,
Yeah.
FMF school.
learn about sergeant majors and hair
Yeah.
rigs and
Dudes turned. I'll never forget. I was getting a lecture, and it was, I guess, a corpsman or Marine that had been to combat in Iraq, and he was just talking about. I remember telling the story about pink mist and shit. I'm just like, oh fuck. What am I doing, man?
That's like that first. There's always that first, like, realization that you're in the military and the military's purpose is to kill motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, as a kid, you're like, you might think that as like as you're growing, like, yeah, I'm gonna go into the infantry or I'm gonna go into the combat arms MOS and then I'm gonna go to combat. But then when you're in, there's something that happens that it's like a in your face, like, oh yeah, this is for real.
Yeah.
And so I had one of those things too, like in recruit training, we went to PT, and like the whole company's out there, and there's like the company guns is up there, and he goes, what do we do? Kill. And they do the whole kill kit. And I was just thinking, I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's what we do. that's
Yeah. Exactly.
that's what we do. Yeah, we were all screaming like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yep. So yeah, just learned about and one of the first things I ever learned how hard some Marines actually work at things is I'd be walking by at night and there'd be an empty classroom and there'd be like an instructor just rehearsing
Their class.
rehearsing his
stuff.
class. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's good, setting a good example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was one of my first impressions of the Marines besides like their strict attitude.
Yeah, what you don't know, that guy's probably miserable.
Yeah, he's like, fuck.
I just want to go home.
It's like, no wonder my dog hates me.
So you get done with your Marine Corps training.
Yep. And then I'd done my paperwork somewhere along here. I did the Indoc.
Where'd you do your Indoc at?
I did it at FMF school. Chief Evans at the time and Luke Milam
Oh, no kidding.
came over from 2nd Recon, and they ran our Indoc for us. It wasn't the swimming part. We didn't do our swimming part then. It was just the pull-ups, run, and sit-ups. It was just like a basic Marine PFT.
So Luke was he was not in the RIP cadre that I was when I went through RIP, but he was like adjacent. He was there. You know what I mean? And the dude would like swing by and just like haze the piss out of us.
Oh, he left a lasting impression.
Yeah,
for sure.
For no reason. He'd be like, "Oh, there's RIP dudes, ropers. let me," and then instructors would be like, "Yeah, go ahead, whatever."
Yeah, just hammer it out.
Hammer it out. Yeah.
Because even after that, and then I went to 2nd Recon Battalion just to waiting to go to ARS. Because
So hold on, go back. What did you have to put? How did you get approved? Like you took an Indoc, so you're in the Navy. You took an Indoc to go to become a SARC. What did you need to do to like
I paperwork.
Yeah, it's just paperwork.
It's just paperwork. You'd find someone in your command.
You just have to have the ASVAB and you gotta
ASVAB,
and be able to
yep,
do
you
the.
say, hey,
do
I
the
want to do
Indoc.
this, and they send the paperwork, and then like it's a process you go through. I don't know I can't speak on the process now.
Were you in like how in shape do you think you were when you took the Indoc?
I say I was pretty good
Compared to your peers.
I was hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, like me, Chris Berg, Tim Jones, like they were the guys that I was with the whole beginning of my military career. Like as far as waiting to go to school, and I went to ARS with Tim Berg and Chris Berg. I'm sorry, and Tim Jones, but we were all together, so I hung with them pretty well. Chris was a monster, and so was Tim. But yeah, as far as everyone else goes, it was pretty good. Then we went
Top,
to
like you say, like top third or whatever.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've always been a runner.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, I personally know. I'm just for the listener. I'm
Yeah. I enjoy running. Yeah, I mean, and running is like one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Aside from pull-ups, I guess.
You know how it is. All the guys want to know your scores on everything and how that's going to be. They want you to spell it all out before.
I was perfect. No, I'm just joking.
You're getting 20 pull-ups?
Yeah, 20 pull-ups. My run wasn't 18 minutes. It was probably 19 something.
Yeah, so here's the thing with the running. I try to explain to people, like, when you get somebody who can run 18 minutes, typically they're lacking in other areas. Like, they can't buddy carry. You can't fireman's carry anybody.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't have the strength. There's very few people out there that are crushing 6-minute miles that can do 25 pull-ups.
Yep.
You know, so it's a balance. I never was an 18 guy. I mean, my fastest 3-miler was like 19 something. You know what I mean? But I could always get 20 plus pull-ups.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a balance. But I also knew that I had to carry a 100-pound ruck and all the shit. But anyways, we digress.
Yeah. Well, my fastest was 18:03, and it was in Okinawa, and I'm forever.
Was that at Schwab?
Hansen.
Oh, I don't think I did the Hansen course.
I
just remember on Schwab we had that downhill on the 3-miler.
Yeah.
And dude, I'd freaking just get it.
Yeah.
Coming down. But I did. I ran my fastest 3-miler right at a dive school, coming back from dive school, going to Oki, and then running that Schwab PFT course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did 18 on the Hansen one.
18:03.
18:03.
I couldn't put out for 3 seconds.
You're a piece of shit, Will.
Yes.
Did somebody say something to you about it too?
Myself. That's all that matters.
Nobody else said anything?
No one was like, oh, you couldn't put out for 3 seconds. And then you got like the dudes like Steve Johnson who smoked like 2 packs of cigarettes a day, just burning it. Like, how are you, he's like a fat skinny. We call him fat skinny.
We have a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
That if you looked at him, you'd be like, nah, dude's not in a recon Marine.
Fuck around, find out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's like with a cigarette passing you on the PFT. Yeah.
A bitch. So, yep. So went to second recon for just waiting. Just
When'd you go
got
there?
hazed 2004.
Shit, we actually missed each other.
Yeah.
Well, I was there. I was a second force in 2004.
Yep. So I hung in the BAS most. So the BAS is the force in the battalion BAS,
Yeah.
and they were all connected.
Yeah.
And I see force dudes coming. I was like, ah, and then I would just like hide.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, back then, that's what you did.
Yeah, because we got this shit pushed in.
Yeah, just keep your mouth shut and your eyes down.
Yeah, for sure.
So you got over there, and you just kind of waiting.
Yep, just waiting me, and we just like started running with rucks.
Yeah.
PTing, getting hazed.
Back then, did they put you through RIP?
No, so one of the, I think some corpsmen did, but my group didn't. We'd work out with the ripsters.
Yeah.
But I was never part of a RIP program.
I'm not even gonna lie. That RIP class, that 3-month RIP. I mean, we did 4 months because I showed up early. Me and Dan knew, believe it or not.
Okay.
That was hard, in my opinion, harder than ARS.
Yeah. Oh, it's supposed to be, right?
I mean, that's the idea.
That's the idea.
That's the idea. But I was like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And then we got to ARS. I'm like, well, this sucks, but not as bad as that.
Yeah.
Because back then there was like, this is before. I mean, we were still killing people in the pool.
Right.
Like legitimately, there were people dying in RIP.
The pool was the worst.
Allegedly.
No, they died. They didn't. There was no allegedly. They're dead. They were popping people's hearts back then. There's a lot more safety protocol. Like you can't do the beehive now anymore in the pool.
Oh, really?
Oh, they're in formation, bro.
That's whack.
Now, we all know how that goes. They're in formation when someone's looking. I don't know. I don't know if the I hate to say this, but I don't know if the youth today are mentally tough enough to take that.
Yeah.
Because like we didn't go around going, "Excuse me, sir, I think this is hazing."
Yeah.
You also drink out of the water hose in the backyard.
Yes,
this is so strange to me because I think of myself and I'm like, I did it.
I did it.
I'm just a, you know what I
just
mean?
a
Like, I'm a normal dude. I'm a dude.
Yeah.
Like,
so I don't know if if a group of instructors like, "Hey, fuck this, let's beehive these guys."
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are there kids out there now that are gonna be like, excuse me, I don't think this is allowed.
Yes.
That's your
I think
vote.
so.
You
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah.
That's sad. You kind of see that same thing with the whole Eddie Gallagher situation with the SEALs that were on his team, the baby SEALs that were on his team. Anyways, don't want to go down a rabbit hole. So so you're back at second.
Yep. And I'm getting ready for ARS.
Yeah.
ARS comes.
Did you go to ARS or BRC?
ARS.
All right.
What
man.
a great time.
Yeah.
We started with
Fort Story, Virginia.
Yep. We started with about 40. It was crazy. We started with 40 some people and we ended with 13.
Bro, we on that Indoc day, I think we started with 72 people.
Yeah.
I want to say 14 graduated.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that means the process works.
I agree with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thankful. Lord knows I've made my share of mistakes.
Bro,
Going through that
hasn't?
course.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was crazy. Speaking of my beehive experience, man, it's just people panic. People get in close together, and it's like, it's crazy how their flight or fight response kicks in. They're like, "Yep, I'm gonna put my hand on top of your head, on top of your head, on top of his head." Just like I'm gonna stay up, but I'm drowning everybody else.
Do you remember in 2004 the Marine Corps Times that had "Go Recon" on it?
That was you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they posted that shit all over Oki.
Yeah.
So that was our screening. That was December of 03. Dan New and I linked up and we took our screening together. Actually, another guy, Pat, I don't know if you remember him. He took his screening that same time. Anyway, so there was this guy in the beehive at the last part of the end, which is crazy now. Even thinking back that even in the Indoc they would beehive you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that wasn't part of like RIP.
Yeah.
That was like part of this. That was part of the end.
Yeah, this is a test.
This is a test.
Yeah.
It was a good test because it shows people who panic. So there's this guy, Dan's on the one side, I'm on the other side, and he's like straight, he's going to Jesus.
Yeah.
And so we are like, he's putting his foot in our cargo pockets, trying to stay up and like putting his hand, and we're like holding him up. Like I've got one, I've got my left hand, I'm under his armpit and I'm holding him up by his blouse, and Dan's on the other side, and we're trying to we're like, calm down, bro, calm down. Yeah. And he just goes total ape shit. And me and Dan look at each other and like, all right, dude. And we let go. And he's like, bloop, 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 bloop. Just
See you at the bottom.
Yeah. So he gets pulled out. Anyways, but that's but you're right, man. They do panic. He was like putting his foot in our cargo pockets, putting hands on head. We're like, bro.
Like, how do you even think this is like? It just goes to show you how
blacked out
he is, because he's just like, I just care about survival right now.
Yeah.
There's no like,
I'm
screwing over my friends.
No, I will murder all of you to survive. Yeah.
There's something in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyway, so go ahead.
ARS, great time.
Yeah, Fort Story for those of you guys who don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
13 weeks.
Yeah, it was. I think that's the EOD compound now, right? I think they took over. Know. Yeah, I think ARS. I think Navy EOD is up there now.
Yeah, they fixed the compound up. They made it all nice, and then they shut it down a couple years later, I think, or at least they sent everybody to BRC, right?
2008. I think was the last class, and then now it's
forever ago.
Everything is in BRC. And what do they call it? The Recon School of Excellence now.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. That just sounds like corny.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's all over there. So yeah, we're a dying breed, man.
We've seen that coming.
Yeah. And I can't wait to get into some of that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull your crazy pills here in a second.
It don't take much.
No, it doesn't.
Let me settle in.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, you go to ARS and then how's it work for SARCs?
ARS. 13 weeks to graduate.
Yeah. That's like, just so you guys know, you guys have heard me talk about that. That is literally waking up and just getting kicked in the dick.
Yeah.
Every single morning.
Yep. It was a great time. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But that was over.
It is a great time.
And
Hindsight.
so one thing is the SARC, at least it was when I went through. It might be different now, but when I did it, the pipeline's not consecutive. So you might have time in between your schools.
Yeah.
So I waited months before I went to jump school after ARS.
Back then you did what I did. You went to the Army jump school, right?
Mm-hmm. Fort Benning. Yep.
Great 3 weeks of just.
Oh man. I had a I guess good story. Not a good story, but I had a girl burn in. She had a cigarette roll. Whew. Burned in. Like we were on the same plane and we switched spots for some reason. I guess she wanted me to be the first one out. And this has no consequence on a parachute, but just part of the story. Yeah. And like I literally jump out and my helmet strap pops and my helmet starts to fly off and I catch my helmet.
What?
And I catch it somehow. I always knew I had quick reflexes. Anyway, and I hear
for me that shit would have been gone. I'd be like, look out below.
No, below. I hear the guy on the ground with the loud phone, pull your reserve. And then I just looked and it was just like a parachute, just like doing its thing as it stopped.
Does she live?
No.
Oh my God.
Sucks. Man. Yeah. So then I had to jump out. Then we had like a pause for like a day and they were like, right back to jumping. I'm like, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That place. So it was ironically enough, when I went through jump school, I stayed in the same barracks that my grandfather did.
That's dope.
Back in like the 50s.
That's really cool.
And I mean, he had already passed, but he passed like two years before that. But it was rad to see. So I actually got my jump wings and my photo and gave it to my grandmother.
Yeah, that shit matters to people.
Yeah.
Especially older
people.
Cool.
Yeah, because it was the same jump wings. It was the same company. It was the same building, you know. And and for those of you that know, when you go in there, they hadn't changed shit. That building, those mattresses might have been the same mattresses from the 50s.
Yeah.
It was nasty. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. All right, so jump school and then?
Well, before jump school, I went back to 2nd Recon. Mm-hmm. So then I actually got to like thrash the Ripsters.
Oh, because you're technically
I've been through ARS.
Yeah.
So then I got to like,
you're not a full up round like a SARC, but you're more than they are.
Yeah. So I got to like, and I could run. So when I got to Okinawa, some of my Marines, they actually were in my platoon. And you're like, yeah, I remember you drinking Diet Pepsi and eating fiery Cheetos, and before you go run us to death. Like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it's me. That's
not no more, but that was me, bro.
Yeah, it was you.
Yeah,
100%. Drinking Mountain Dew and
getting after it.
Yeah.
To be young, there is no exception for youth. Let me tell you. So jump school. Then we did go jump school straight to dive school. Dive school. I actually got rolled at dive school, which I was thinking this morning. I was like,
when did you go to dive school?
2005.
Oh, we totally just missed each other because I went in 2005 with Jake too.
February of 2005.
I was after that. I was towards the end of the summer.
Yep.
Yeah. Panama City. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
That's where I grew up.
No
Panama
kidding.
City Beach. Yeah.
How you like it growing up there?
I had 2 felonies by the time I was 13. So.
On the spot, bro.
Yeah, she's good, man. Yeah. Yeah. Panama City in the 90s, man, was an interesting place for a young man.
I wasn't 21 and like I didn't know, so I just did a lot of fishing and like just.
I mean, if you went during the winter, then
it wasn't. Yeah, that's right. It wasn't that popping.
There's not much.
I think I was coming towards spring break season, but
bro, let me tell you the classes that happened during spring break.
Yeah,
the amount of drops. People get in trouble, man.
Sidetrack.
Yeah. So, anyways, dive school.
I got rolled, and I was thinking,
what happened?
I'm hard headed. So there's the azimuth toward at least there's an azimuth you shoot to get to the pier,
dock. Yeah,
right?
To the pier, yeah.
Well, I kick crooked. Like my feet somehow I don't kick straight.
You still?
I don't know. I haven't done it. I mean, I haven't really like been tested like that since.
But I mean, have you? So even afterwards, were you?
Oh, they were like, everyone was like, "Will offset." I'm like, "Fuck you." I'm gonna learn this my way.
Okay.
So you get what to do 2000. You get like an hour.
Yeah, 60 minutes.
I was done at like 44 minutes, and I was 200 to the right.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was horrible. And then I did it again on the redive.
Yeah.
I'm just hard headed.
And you still didn't correct it. You're like, no, fuck this. I'm going in.
I'm burning in, baby.
But you did it in 44 minutes?
Yeah, I was cooking.
Yeah, you're cooking.
Yeah.
You're just all fucked up.
Yeah, I'm just fucked up.
Strong.
Just stupid.
Just stupid. Okay.
So I actually got rolled. I didn't get dropped. I didn't have
Yeah.
to go back. So I don't know if that's the process or people like me or because I have a good character. I think not to like that is something I will say.
I'll
So,
second that.
all right, thank you. And so they dropped me into the next dive school class right before they did their 10K.
Yeah.
So I had to do another 10K. Oh, that was fun. And then
Those are just so you guys know, if you haven't done that, if you've not been attached to a bunch of other guys and fend 10,000 meters,
yeah,
bro, it's horrible.
yeah, you're in the
Your
water for a long
feet-
time.
You're in the water for a long time. Your feet are just jacked. Yeah,
Yeah,
fun times.
it was. It was. And
I actually packed pizza in a Ziploc bag in my cargo
Did it work?
pocket. Hell yeah, it did.
I know dudes had Snickers bars, but they didn't waterproof them.
Gross.
So we were just like raw dogging Snickers in the salt water.
No, I pulled it out, but it was great, man. Pizza. You got cheese, you got some meats on there, you got carbohydrates, everything.
You're hitting
vegetables.
you're hitting the whole group.
the whole macro group
Yeah.
in one slice.
That's
yeah.
it, baby. In one slice. See that whole macro group in one slice. That's well played.
All right, so you had to do 2 10Ks. That sucked.
Yep. And then graduated, and then went into dive medicine, which is 3 weeks. That's where you learn about the hyperbaric chamber.
Oh, that's right. You guys stay. I forgot about that. You stay for a while. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
How was that?
That was good. That's really informative. I don't remember much about the information.
And this is the reason why I have so much respect for SARCs, because they do every single thing that we do and then more, a lot more. So it's like you have to know everything that we know and then everything else.
Yep.
And carry all the extra shit as well. So anyways, so dive medicine and then
18 Delta. I'm sorry. Then the short course.
yeah, you did the short course.
Yeah, I don't think I did it right away. Did the short course?
So
which
what
is
is-
6 months?
what is
before
that?
brag. Short
yeah.
course is it's just your deep dive into trauma.
So
Essentially.
so SARCs, they go to the 18 Delta course. Well, the first 6
SOCM.
months. SOCM.
SOCM is the short portion.
Yeah. And then the long portion is
18 Delta. That's the
18
entirety
It's
of
an
it.
entire year.
It's the remainder. So
Yeah.
the whole thing is a year.
So so back in the day when Will went through, it was you guys just did the first portion,
Right.
And then when you get promoted to chief,
No,
no,
because Lord knows I was never gonna make chief. I just
but
went-
later on you
yeah,
go back.
You
to,
wait like a year.
and then you go. You
or
get
maybe
a
do a
deployment,
deployment, and then you
go back to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
next thing. I remember it was a big deal because during our time in the military, it was like, the fuck you will, you're going to Iraq.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you're going to Afghanistan.
Right.
And then you're going to go back to Afghanistan. So a lot of guys were missing that second portion because of deployments.
Deployments,
You know.
yeah.
But anyways, you ended up going back?
Yep, I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
After Iraq, so went to Oki.
Yeah.
After SOCM, went to Oki. Did 2 MUs.
Yeah.
ARP, DRP.
I was your
SOTG instructor for the DRP, right?
Yeah, I was a guest. I was a guest. I don't know. I think I had just wrapped up a deployment or something, or maybe I was about to be a platoon sergeant. I don't remember, but when it was. But yeah, I was a guest instructor at one of your DRP packages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was your guys' saying?
Bravo 1, red meat and fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Red meat and fucking.
That's us, baby.
It was on your T-shirt.
God, we were some heathens.
That platoon was savage, bro. That was a savage platoon.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they were a bunch of guys.
There's a handful still running around MARSOC now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little razor.
Yeah. Yeah, one day I got completely obliterated and like started punching my wall lockers and shit because I was just drunk. And like him and I shared a room, and like I'm just in there in the bathroom, passed out with my Scooby Doo blanket. We won't talk about it. But and he
It's
just,
like we need to talk about the Scooby Doo
no,
blanket.
Scooby Doo's classic. And he looks at me, he's just like, bro, what the fuck? And just like walks away.
That sounds like it.
Yeah. So quiet and like, but just like
All right.
stern.
So you went to. So you had a little bit of a break. You went to the short course.
Mm-hmm.
Got all your high speed
ARP,
training.
DRP,
Yep.
Iraq
What is
deployment, Amphibious Reconnaissance platoon, which is like the reconnaissance type deal.
Green like
Yeah, green side.
Sneaking around in the bush.
Sneaking and peeking. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man. In Oki,
That's real.
that's some real shit.
That's
real man shit.
NTA.
Everybody wants to be like sexy and like hit houses and ride on helicopters. Nah, bro. The real man shit, that's that ARP life.
The NTA.
The NTA.
Go hike the NTA.
You want to get your man card? Go
That's
fucking
jungle.
Go patrol up there.
Yeah, there's no trails.
Bro, I've been in jungles all over Asia. And I'll tell you, man, that NTA,
Yeah.
I would say the NTA and then this shit down the road is the two places that I'd never want to be again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rough.
Verona Loop or whatever that fucking thing
Fuck
is.
if I know, brother. I don't come north of the bypass.
I think my soul is still stuck in some of those vines out there.
Well.
Anyway, so all right, so you did two, and then you went to Iraq.
2008, 6,
Yeah.
6, 8, 8, 2008. 2008.
Were you with Mike Fursky?
Fursky? Yep, I went to ARS with Fursky too.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What a strange, lovable cat. His little Gumby head.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
He's a great dude. Yeah. He ended up. We lost him in Iraq on I think that deployment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was crazy because nothing was going on. It was completely.
That's what they said. That it was like you guys were quiet for and you just
that platoon just stumbled upon a house.
You
full of
weren't
14. I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
No.
They stumbled into a beehive, right?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, and just like holy shit, like I think it was like 14 dudes.
He was
all armed to the teeth,
and he was the one man.
He was one man. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of our tactics have changed since then. I don't know if it's exactly because of that situation, but it was a lot. I think it was because of situations like that.
Yeah.
Doing dynamic type stuff. And granted so, because when we went over to MARSOC, there was a lot of things that changed when we started doing CQB. Anyways, all right. So Iraq and came back.
18 Delta. Yep, did that.
Oh, you came back, and then that's when you did 18 Delta.
18 Delta. When I got back from when I left Oki, I went to 18 Delta.
What was different between 18 Delta and the short course?
So 18 Delta is more of a clinical medicine.
Okay.
More of you can see patients yourself. Oh, you always have a doctor sign off on your stuff.
Yeah.
But you see patients, you treat them.
So the first 6
treatment
months,
plans.
the first 6 months is
straight trauma.
So that's why you guys
stop
are so
the
good.
bleed, stop the bleeding, start the breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chest tubes. You guys do any of that
Yep.
stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
When did you do? When do you guys checking each other's prostates?
That was. Yep. You know whose prostate I checked?
Whose?
Eddie Gallagher's.
Did you really?
Yeah. I don't know if sorry. But like
That's out there, bud. Sorry.
Yeah, he'll remember because I had like
yeah, you remember?
no, because I had like a handful of lube.
Yeah.
And like I was all fucking twisted, and I like put my handful of lube like on his ass cheek. It was just a mess.
Oh
It
God.
was fucking weird.
Who was our DMO at 3rd when you left? What was his name?
Oh,
Because he came over. He was a SARC. He was a SARC first. I think he came over to MARSOC eventually.
I want to say Oni, but it's 100% not that guy.
No, it's not.
it's not that guy. No. Onifer. No.
Yes.
Dana Onifer.
I think it was Dana.
He was in Okinawa. Yeah.
Was he originally a SARC?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
so.
it was Dan Onifer. So, anyways, it's time for me to do my my jump dive physical, or whatever. What do we call it? Is spec
warfare.
spec warfare.
I think it's
physical,
simple.
right?
Yeah, I think it's not complicated. Yeah.
So anyways, don't make fun of me, Will.
I'm not. No, I meant it's simple.
So he's like, all right, we got to do this. I got to check your prostate for your physical. I'm like, dude, what are we talking about? I thought we just did like the poop test. Like you just shit in a bag and you put, and then you send it off. And he's like, no, man, I'm old school. We're going to do it. I'm getting in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, here we go. So, and keep in mind, like most general people don't get their prostate checked until like 50.
Yeah. Not us.
Not us, bro. Like 19, yeah, bend on over, bro. I'm taking it.
You get it how you live it.
Yeah. Anyway, so he does it, and then he like gets done, and he throws like a stack of napkins, and then she goes, clean yourself up, and like with the most disgusted like look. So you're just like down, you're just bent over this table, the medical table, with your pants around your ankles, and this dude just like gets done with checking you, and he just throws some napkins on the thing, and he just looks at you disgustingly, and like, clean yourself up, and walks out. That's the way he liked to do his prostate exams.
Oh,
Dude, talk about making you feel like I just got violated.
Yeah. I mean, as a pipe hitting male,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that's not something you're into.
It's like I need to go find my, girlfriend or my wife and go,
Make this right.
make this right. Go assert my dominance as a man.
Because I'm feeling very
And then
2021 right now.
And then for the rest of the day, you're just all, slimy, and you're
Yeah.
like, no matter how you clean up,
Yeah.
it's like, it's just, I got to go take a shower.
Someone give me one of them removable shower heads so I can fucking
Clean this out. Anyways, all right. So you did Eddie Gallagher's.
Yeah.
So do you have like
It's a weird story. So it's so weird that like all the situations that surround him.
Yeah.
And I can be like, yeah.
I've been inside that dude.
No. No, man. That's private.
But I mean, you legitimately,
Yeah.
you've been in another. So you guys don't know this. When do you guys do that? Do you guys do that?
All right. So when you start out, the first part of SOCM for me was anatomy and physiology.
Mm-hmm.
You stack anatomy and physiology with pathophysiology, so anatomy A&P would just be the body and how it works.
Yeah.
And the pathophysiology would be like the disease process.
Okay.
So you're stacking all that together along with you do the anatomy lab where they have like little pens in the cadavers.
Yeah.
And you have to go and like name what part of the body that is. So I think we did the prostate exams like towards the end of so it's like the first 6 weeks of school.
Shit.
Yeah, I think so. It was like the first 6 weeks of school.
They literally just want to break you guys in.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we do NG tubes and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's no holding back.
Yeah. Well, that's actually, from a team building aspect of this,
It's pretty good.
it's really good, right? Like you guys are gonna do some really nasty things to each other.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get to know each other very well.
Very well.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a running joke with Marines and SARCs because they're running around always, threatening to check your prostate for your physical. And
No one
everybody's
wants that.
Nobody wants that, but you guys will do it with no hesitation.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like
We got this has to
finger
get
on your
done.
prostate, finger on my tip of my nose. Yep, it's good.
It's good.
No.
Oh man. All right. So you left Oki, came back from Iraq,
Went to 18 Delta,
went to 18 Delta.
then got assigned to a hotel company at MARSOC.
There you go.
Yep.
Did you have to do anything to go to MARSOC?
No. Show up.
Just hey, you're in. You're 18
Yeah,
Delta.
that's it.
I mean, what else do you need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess selection, but I don't know if any corpsmen do the
Oh,
selection.
we're about to get to that. I'm about to break some news to you, son.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good for them.
Shit's changing. It's pretty interesting. I don't even know. We'll have to see how you feel. But anyways, so you ended up doing hotel. How many deployments did you end up doing?
Well, I did one full, and then when you and I went, I broke my hand.
That
my
was your
thumb.
second one?
Second one.
Okay.
And then I came back, and then there was a mishap, and then I went back again for the third summer in a row.
Yeah.
All a hotel company.
Man,
No, we were golf. Sorry, hotel. Yeah.
that was so sad, man. We had so many plans
Yes.
on that deployment.
Yeah.
That team, bro.
I was so yoked.
You were fucking.
What a waste.
I was like, damn, Will.
Yeah. I'll never. I fell off of a GHD machine. So I was doing back extensions, and I just rolled the rollers. I guess I didn't have my legs locked in. I just rolled off, and I put my hand out, and my thumb just bent back and broke. I guess.
What'd you break? Scaphoid?
Whatever this is.
Yeah, I think you probably broke the scaphoid.
Kaibar was like, Vil, you okay? I was like,
You know, Kaibar is, he's safe in the States.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I told you that,
good.
right?
Commented
Yeah.
on your photo. I remember when he did that in the gym.
Oh, that's
Nice.
right. He did. He jumped.
Yeah.
He on Instagram. So
Good
he's got a bunch of kids and he's living in Seattle.
Good for him, thriving.
Yeah. We've only got one guy in Afghanistan right now. That I know of. One
Right.
guy. Yeah. Everybody else made it stateside.
Well, that's good to hear.
Well, yeah, because they'd be what they did.
There's a reason all those people wanted to leave. It's not like, oh, we have the Taliban under control. No. There's a reason all those people wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway.
But it was nice. As soon as all that stuff started happening, I started reaching out to all of our dudes and saying like, who's who. Crazy, man. So, you remember TJ?
Yeah.
Kaibar's little
yeah.
second
Yeah, I think I call him something else, I think.
He had longer hair.
Yeah. Roz? Is
No,
Roz
was
TJ?
I don't know. Oh, that was a different one.
Because I was talking to Rod about this because he was deployed. He had the same terps because they were all on BMG.
Yeah.
So he was calling him TJ and I called him Roz. Either way,
I think you're right. I think it's the
he's
same.
pretty like had nice like curly wavy hair or something. Yeah. Okay.
Always Jack and Steel with
Yeah,
us.
yeah. All about it.
Drinking the water.
Yes, right.
Anyway, so he went back to visit family, and Kaibar was like, dude, he goes, hey, I haven't heard from him. I know he went and visited family like a month ago. I don't know if he made it back. Bro, he got back right before that happened. He left right before it happened.
Good for him.
Yeah. So there's only one dude there now, but he's getting help nonetheless. Hopefully, knock on some wood or something. Say a prayer to, what do we say, Valhalla? To Odin. three triangles.
Oh, what up?
Yeah. All right. So you get done with all that, and well, let's ask. You did all that training, man. How did you ever have to use it?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Some very extensive trauma situations.
On partner nations or
Afghans.
our guys?
I had one situation with an American Army civil affairs dude. I think the bullet bounced off of his cop mic and went up through his jaw here, broke his jaw, and then shattered all his teeth.
Oh, he's lucky.
He's lucky because if it had went down,
lucky.
That's. Oof.
So what'd you do?
Well, we got him down, and we're like,
was he awake?
Yeah, he was awake the whole time.
And
so we worry about, blood going into the airway. So I was like, Jimmy, he was sitting up. We had like, Vic DeSantis was there with me. We had it like kind of padded up, I think. Anyway, the one thing I specifically remember is it was like, Jimmy, you see this? Like, if you start to go, like, you're going to get this. And he was like, He's like, and he couldn't talk. He's like, you ain't putting no tube in my neck, because I was going to crike him.
Yeah.
And he was like, So we got him on the side-by-side and hauled him off to the LZ, which was on like our little compound. And
did you put an NPA in?
No, nothing. He was completely conscious, awake the whole time.
He
even from the flight to DIB to BMG, he was good to go.
That's fucking badass.
It's crazy.
Tough dude.
Yeah. So
I would be the same way too, because I would not want, because like if I'm conscious, there's no way I'm keeping that airway in, dude. I'm gonna try to breathe. I'm gonna do everything I can to breathe.
Can you imagine being conscious and someone like just slicing your skin here and then poking a hole in it and then
breathing from your throat?
Not happening.
That's weird as no.
And I had I've had some IED treatments. Those dudes were done though, so I guess that's not really a treatment. And then one time, a dude got shot through his temple and it went out his eye. So
one of our dudes?
No, Afghan.
I mean, one of our
commando. I'm sorry, ANA. No, commando.
Okay,
commando. And so I was like, well, this dude's a toast. Like, I'm not gonna have to do anything.
Yeah.
Kind of desensitized to the situation
of course
in the moment.
Yeah.
Now I think back on it, I'm like, all right,
crazy.
you're fucked up. But now that I'm in the moment, I'm just like, all right. So I was like, I'm not gonna have to do anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then like I get down there. And
people don't understand that though. They don't understand when you do that job, you have to have a certain type of mentality.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that type of guy. I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
I was, but I'm not that guy anymore. Now I could probably
find him.
I could probably find him.
Yeah,
if I need,
sure.
We've talked about that. Yeah. Like he's down there, and if we need to break that seal, we can break that seal, but I don't really want to.
I see him sometimes at jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Shh. Anyways, so what'd you do?
Well, I got down there, and he was laying in a puddle of blood, and like I roll him over, and he goes, "Oh!" I'm like, "Shit, he's alive."
I gotta work.
Yeah. So I was like, Tyler Scarborough was with me, and we were like, well, shit. So we put up pulse ox sets your blood oxygen saturation, pulse, and all that kind of stuff. So he was in the dumps. So it's just an interesting story. I had just after you finish 18 Delta, every 2 years, I believe you go to a refresher course.
Yeah.
And
how long is that?
2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
You go back over trauma stuff, and in that specific course, that refresher that I went to, we talked about pulse oximetry and like using it more frequently, I guess, than I had thought about. So in this situation, I was able to put on the pulse ox, see that his sats were garbage. We did a crike on him, got the tube in, suctioned out the blood, and like his pulse ox, like it crazy, it worked. So it was like very cool just to see medicine in action, like in numbers, not
Right.
just
Data.
not just yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, all right. He didn't make it, unfortunately, because his brains was coming out his eye, but we did turn him around for a little bit, even though the prognosis was not good.
Have you ever had to use it outside of the military?
No.
No?
I don't know when I would do that. Like if I just come up on like a
car accident.
I don't want to
I've
get. I
always
don't want
wondered
to
that.
get sued. Like I always hear horror stories about people rushing in to help people, and then like it just.
But see, I get that.
Yeah.
But what would you really do?
I'd help them.
You'd help them.
I think about it. You know, I thought about it like just the other day. I was like, car accident. I was like, I'm gonna help these people. Yeah.
Like you just react.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then afterwards, if they did do that, you'd be like, you're an asshole.
Bro, you need counseling.
You need counseling.
Don't get a dog. He's a bitch. He's gonna bite you.
Oh, man. All right. So then after your last deployment, what happened?
So I knew I was getting out I got out in 2012. In 2010, I knew that I was not meant for this world because just commands, politics, Colonel Huntley to be specific.
I'm right there with you.
So
Man, we just name dropped him.
I don't care.
He's a bad person.
Yeah, he told us, he said, we have the enemy surrounded from the inside.
Okay.
Like, you know, just people say things that kind of just stick with you.
Were you at DIB when he was there?
Yeah.
When that whole thing went down?
Oh yeah. That was my team. Yeah. It was horrible. Like it was so how that deployment went was we were in our base and they were like, pack everything up. You're going to Kandahar.
Yeah.
So we're like, shit, Kandahar's like IED city. Like, you know, you got all that going, at least through my mind.
Yeah.
Right. And not to mention the drive across Afghanistan. And then literally the convoys lined up. This is some typical Marine shit. The convoys lined up. They're like, no, we're not going. And so.
You're kidding.
Yeah. We had everything packed up. We were about to leave that morning. They were like, yeah, you're not going anymore.
Love the planning process. Military planning process.
Then we hung out, and then there was a base. McCore was in between. I don't know what the one we were at, but then there was McCore, and then in between that place and DIB. And then they were like, we went out to DIB to like assess the situation.
Yeah.
Got super like firefights.
Yeah.
Blown up, like trucks ruined. Like it was not VSO. We went to check it out for VSO ops and see if it was going to be stable.
Well, what's the first tenet of VSO? Clear.
Yeah, it was
clear
it was
the
not.
shit.
It
was
was not
not clear.
It was not that. But we went back.
It was not that.
It was not that. But we went back.
Yeah.
After we drug in one of our Humvees, like MRAP done, Humvee done. You know, like we had to detonate a Humvee in place.
And getting there is not an easy.
No,
it's not an easy feat.
No,
yeah,
it's shit.
Yeah.
So we got back and they were like, no, it's no go. And they're like, perfect, you're going back. But it wasn't like you're just going back. They're like, yeah, you're going back for prepare to stay for 2 weeks to 4 months. Like, what does that even mean? Right?
That's a big like
2
2 weeks or 4 months.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that,
It was
the
garbage.
planning process of that is very different.
Yeah, I don't know what the higher ups were doing, but
And having ice cream Sundays at the the DFAC.
They're making up scenarios so they can pad their resumes is what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but to us on the ground, it was like, WTF, bro.
So what happened at the actual like that incident that he was there and
Man, which one? I mean, because people would just come out there just to get shot at, to get their ribbons and then leave. So
well,
like,
because like there was a time that we couldn't drop.
oh, plenty of that. It was like, you
had to have like all kinds of certain approvals to drop
until he was out there.
And then he showed up.
Yeah, he
and
was like,
he was like,
do
go,
it,
go.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like,
that
dude,
guy.
where was this when you're not here?
Yeah.
Well, we're whatever.
So funny thing is, so I was actually rolled to your team.
Yeah.
After that deployment, and then he showed up at like one of our training operations, and like obviously he doesn't know who I am, doesn't know what I look like, doesn't remember me. But he came into like the tent. It was me and like Vic Martin and like who I don't know who was there.
This is out in California.
Yeah. And
this
he was
is where
like,
I got in trouble.
Yeah, he was like, here at Second MSOC, here it's more Second MSOC. We like doing VSO a little different.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm like, everyone else might not know what you mean, but I know exactly what you mean, bro.
Oh man, yeah. So I do you remember that when I?
You have to refresh my memory if you want to.
Me and B. So you guys were off. It was like me, B, and some other guy. There's like three of us. I can't remember who was there. It might have been Compton. I don't know. But anyways, so the general Flavor Flav shows up, and so I'm talking to him about 3 different things. I had 3 different things. It was the grooming standard in country, because he didn't want us to grow until you showed up. But it's like
right.
we had to do like turnover and all kinds of stuff.
Makes no sense.
And it wasn't even the policy. The policy was 30 days prior. 30 days prior, you can start growing your beard. And for you guys don't know, it's kind of it is a big deal. The way that you're perceived over there, especially with other leaders, local leaders there. If you show up looking like you're 18 years old, bro,
chai boy.
You're I didn't want to say it, but you're essentially a chai boy.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal to be looked at as a commander and looked at as somebody of an authority figure.
Yeah.
And which is none of this was our first rodeo. We all knew this. But this one individual just decided that you're a Marine first, and that's all, bounce your boots and get a haircut. Yeah. That's how he was going to do it, which he doesn't do it. Anyways, so it was that. And then we were getting a bunch of dudes were getting shot in the helmet. The old 2002 ACH Mitch. I mean, Mike got shot. We've had, unfortunately, bring up, there's a couple other guys that got shot in the head, and that helmet is just garbage. It's, and I think the military is paying so I did all the research. I think it was like $750 is what a 2002 ACH Mitch cost the government. It was $2,500, and it was basically just frag protection. Like that's it.
Yeah, no go.
That was it. And dudes are getting shot in the head. And so I was like, let's find another option. At that time, Ops Corps had came out, and they were like, that's when they were like, hey, this is 762, this will protect you, yada, yada, yada. And every single special operations said it is authorized for teams to wear. Now, eventually they all bought it for them, but they first went through a testing process, and they said, hey, we're not going to buy it yet, but if you guys buy it, the mil-spec version, this version, there was letters saying this is authorized for wear. It got to our regiment, and that one individual said, nope. They wrote a letter saying, we understand that but basically it came down to like, we understand that all SOCOM units can use it, except for Marines.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even if it was about money, like what's a life insurance payout?
Oh, so well, no, it wasn't about money. That's what I'm saying. So the 2002 ACH Mitch was not ballistic protection at $2,500 a pop. These helmets were $750.
Okay.
And
I misunderstood. Yeah. So you're saving money.
You're saving
and
money
saving lives.
And
more
saving
importantly.
lives.
Yeah.
So I brought that up. So I brought those 2 issues up. Oh, I remember what I brought up. Because both of us got out around the same time. So it was the helmet issue, the grooming issue, which all had been squashed. He didn't know about the helmet issue, which now MARSOC has. Ops Corps. You're welcome. And then the grooming thing got fixed too, because that was the general's policy. And then Huntley was like, nah, I'm gonna make my own shit up.
Crazy.
And then the other thing was Zone C bonuses.
Yeah. So
like I'm like, you spend all this money to get guy at a 12-year mark, and that's where we always lose people, is around the 12, 13-year mark, or 10 to 13 years is where we lose people, and that's like the bulk of your expertise,
right?
Like your experience,
right?
You're not new and you're not like super old, but you're like, that's the working class right there. That's the ones that get shit done, seen some things, and he was like, okay, so talked about all that, and as soon as he walked over, I watched him walk to Huntley and knife hand him on the grooming standard and the helmet.
It's crazy.
And and Huntley came over to the 3 of us and just immediately started yelling. He goes, who the fuck brought this up to the general? And I said, I did, sir. He's like, roger that. And then that's when shit just like rolled downhill hardcore. But, it all got fixed.
Yeah.
So it took one for the team, but it all got fixed.
That's how things have to go, right? Unfortunately, someone has to fall on the sword, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, not to get too much into what we're going to talk about next, but the conformity of just allowing things to just be what they are, whatever somebody says, and just saying, Oh, okay. If you say so.
Yeah.
And just you
No
want to take
questioning.
no questioning,
Yeah.
nothing. You know what I mean? No questioning
Yeah.
anything. No, not. And I'm not saying like in the military, there's rules and regulations. There has to be, right? But you can still like it's in the was it MCDP 1, the Marine Corps Leadership 1, to question your leaders. Not obviously like what's the word? Not disgruntledly. Not as in like a way to be. Fuck, I don't know.
Disrespectful.
Disrespectful, yeah. Not in a
yeah.
way to be disrespectful, but to like
Yeah.
challenge, hey, this plan or this idea or
Yeah.
whatever. Is this thing the best thing moving forward?
Right.
And no. Huntley's like, nah, bro. It's my world.
I hope he's doing well.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah. He didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he had like between DIB and BMG was like super hot, and he just
Yeah.
had green circles overlapping each other. Like it's all good.
You're all good. No,
Uh,
I'm sure him and his family's doing well, nonetheless. Made our lives a little complicated
Gives
for a
me
while.
like some good stories. I mean,
Yeah, right? If it was all rainbows the whole time,
What the hell we talk about?
What the hell would we talk about,
the
right?
monkeys slinging shit at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be nothing.
So then you got, anyways, after that, you got out, right?
Yeah. So, well, we got way sidetracked.
Yeah.
So 2010, I figured out, I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I mean, they had really, really good re-enlistment bonus for SARCs. It was like 40 or 50K at the time.
Yeah, see, at the 8 or 9 year mark, we got 90K.
Yeah.
And then at the 12, 13 year mark, you get, I think it was like 15K.
They're like, yeah, we got you.
We got
Like,
you.
You're over the hump.
You're over the hump. You're not going to get out of
Yeah.
this year.
Watch me.
Yeah. Like, I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
I just dropped 2 smokes.
Yeah, I'm gone,
Yeah.
brother. So I remember just being super tight one day, and I was initially going to be like a CRNA.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to take my medical knowledge and try to like go to school.
And do something
Yeah.
with it
Yep, but
instead of what you did now. It's just-
life is just crazy, man. Life is absolutely wild. There's no straight line.
Nope.
It's a S curve all the way. So I went to like UNCW for 1 semester of nursing, and then like fell in love with music and DJing.
I remember that.
And all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I started like trying to DJ locally, completely, so off.
Whatever, man. It's the journey.
It is a journey.
Yeah.
So I put all my eggs in this basket. I was
But you
DJing.
actually, I think, didn't you actually change school to music for a
I
little
did.
while?
I did. So my plan was to go to UNCW, and then when I found out, UNCW nursing I was like, nah, I'm doing music. So I started learning how to make music. I got production software. I became the thing that I wanted to do, which is, I think, inevitably what you have to do if you want to be successful. And so I was like, all right, what's the next logical step? I was like, well, I got to learn about music now because I don't know anything about music. So I was going to go to UNCW to do the music program, but you have to audition as a musician to get into the school. Well, I don't know shit, right?
You're like teaching yourself how to play.
I'm like
play
playing the piano. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about anything, right?
Right.
So then I go to Cape Fear, which has an entry-level music associates music program. Learn to play the piano. I go there 2 years, learn to play the piano, get my associates. But then after I graduated, I was still taking classes because at this time I was still planning on auditioning to go to UNCW.
Okay.
And then one of my friends was like, "You want to start a business?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And so I couldn't do both, right? So then I stopped that, and then
So that's what happened with the business that you currently have.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And you said while we were offline, you were like, you just took like what you had just a little bit of money, right?
Yeah.
That's all you had.
That's all I had, dude. And
you're
I was like, do it. Like I mean, in the grand scheme of things, well, the perception of money changes as life goes on.
Right.
You know what
But
I
at
mean?
the time,
that was it.
how much was it? Can you say?
I think it was like 20K or something. Peanuts. It's
now, yeah. But then,
it's just so weird to just think about how our minds can shift like perception of things,
wild, man.
So we did that, and it's become something, good.
Yeah. Well, before we get on, let's talk. I got a couple questions here from the guys. Ready?
All right.
And some of these we already answered.
Let's do it.
What was the most difficult thing in the pipeline?
Looking back on it, none of it.
There's your answer.
I honestly, I don't. Hindsight is one of those things.
Was there a difficult, like, was one school more difficult than the other? Was SOCM more difficult than ARS? Or
I mean, ARS was probably the most physically challenging. Like when I would screw up and I would end up getting thrashed and do like 808 counts. Obviously, in that moment, I was not having a good time. But when graduation came around,
you forget about it.
I was like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just
and
part of the game.
People don't realize what 808 counts does
a lot,
to you.
bro.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we had to do 2,000 one time for the kid that stole the Domino's, the Backgate Domino's.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
He stole the Domino's delivery car and then crashed it into the Backgate guard shack.
He's the opposite of a hero.
And then he gets dropped. And what do we do?
Thrash.
Fucking thrash.
It was your responsibility, Nick.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even live on base, man.
Yeah, get it.
2008 counts, go. I'm like, this asshole's not even here. Anyways, so I guess ARS what was more mentally difficult?
I think there's two different kinds of headspace, right? So you have like an academic headspace, and then you have like a physical headspace.
Yeah.
So it's like two different things you have to like. There is academics at ARS.
Yeah, there is.
You know,
especially when you're really tired.
Yes,
Yeah.
And so land nav was never my strong suit, nor was like the water stuff with the boats, the amphib side.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, charting and all
Charting
that kind of stuff.
long and everything. Yeah.
I mean, that's academic, but it's nowhere near what SOCM and 18 Delta was, in my personal opinion. So I don't really have a good answer for that. Most physical difficulty would be ARS.
Yeah.
And obviously these are just, you know, and then the most like mental as far as like pressure, because there's a different pressure for like, if you're then, I don't know about now, if you were a SARC, if you were a corpsman and you were going through 18 Delta and you were, I think you were a second class, and you graduated with a higher 90 or higher, you get promoted to HM1.
Oh, damn.
I didn't graduate with 90 or higher. That's why I never made it HM1. But it was a lot of pressure on me. I really cared. I'm just a shitty test taker.
So that sucks. So you actually, in that moment, you really did want it.
Oh, man, I was thirsty. Like, I studied. I did everything I was supposed to do. I just, when it came down to the test.
You biffed it.
I biffed it, bro.
Wow. So you got to go to Afghanistan and do a bunch of work instead.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
That's an HM2.
Yeah.
All right. What would you say to yourself or somebody else like that's a green side corpsman that's putting in a package to become a SARC?
Stay the course. Just there's a checklist that you have to check. Check
all the schools and all the things.
Yep, but the paperwork, just get your paperwork straight. You're gonna maybe get frustrated or impatient because things take time. Just stay the course and just keep training. Because I've learned that showing up is the most important thing you can do. 18-year-old me didn't never think that. I was just, doing it, but just stay consistent.
This is a strange one. You ever work with the Brits?
Never. Nope.
Okay. And then strange another one. Do you follow pro sports?
Yes. Denver Broncos. Well, it's weird. I'm from Maryland.
Yeah.
The Eastern Shore. However, we only have one baseball team, and that's the Baltimore Orioles. Unfortunately, they're trash.
But do you follow them? Do you watch them? Do you watch them play?
I do when they're doing good.
So you're a fair weather fan.
Yeah, but segue. I am, however, because I was playing Pop Warner football when John Elway and the Denver Broncos were doing really well. So I jumped on that bandwagon
early,
and I've stuck through all their bad years. I got the Super Bowl, and now I'm riding. Now them I watch religiously. The Orioles are just so bad.
They had their first game, right? The
Broncos. They beat the Giants.
Really?
Put Saquon on swords. Yeah, it was great.
There we go. Our producer over here is a KC fan.
That's problematic. Being an AFC West rivalry and all that kind of stuff. Well, we'll see what happens.
You boys biffed it last year, so we'll see.
I know. I know. So did Patty Mahomes. No, he didn't. They all didn't go Super Bowl last year.
We did.
Oh, sorry, you biffed it to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That was bad.
It was bad.
That was bad. That kid is so good. What's his name?
Patty Mahomes.
Patty. He's so good.
Yeah, he's talented.
And I kind of called it too. I called it right because I said, listen, I get this kid has talent.
Yeah.
But I don't care how talented you are. Talent doesn't supersede experience.
Right.
And I hate to break it to everybody, Well, yeah, breaking into anybody. Everybody knows Tom Brady's got some experience.
And he's got the talent, so he's just like he's tapped in on both fronts.
Both fronts, Now Pat Mahomes in another 10 years,
Get it? Yeah, yeah.
if he can make it that long, bro, he'll be unstoppable.
That's the thing about Tom Brady is his longevity.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports broadcaster by any means, but to do what he's done as consistent as he's done it,
He's a GOAT.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hands down.
How the hell do SARCs always have the nicest hair and mustaches?
I don't know. Let's see. It's kind of it's not nice no
But
more.
you're not. But when you're in,
Oh.
why do they all look so lusciously and like they just look gorgeous? All the SARCs are just gorgeous looking.
Is it? I mean,
Is it just the Navy thing? Because you just get to grow your hair.
It just is. Like
It just is.
It just is. Why is it just is?
But our podcast is sponsored by Johnny Slicks, and we can help anyone with their hair. and
That's
beard
true.
and
I'm
make it look
going to get
luscious.
him to go through his stuff a little at the end. All right. So what was the other one? All right. So the other ones. I don't know. Do you see anything else here? I'm gonna talk about this right here.
Okay.
But is there anything else you want to address, or that we haven't addressed?
Ooh. Do you eventually go through the MARSOC pipeline? We talked about that. I don't think
We were gonna talk about
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, that's right. Because you said you had something.
Yeah.
What military movement stands out for you the most? I'm not sure what they mean
I
by
think it's
that
an
question.
army thing. Like what
Yeah.
deployment? What deployment stands out the most to you?
Oh, DIB for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down.
The 2010 one.
2010.
Yeah.
Yep. Because we had leadership failures within the team. Like we lost a team chief, not because of death, but because of just like inner turmoil.
Yep.
We had higher command issues. We just had our elements were at each other's throats. I mean, it was just and then the dynamic of the whole deployment itself. It was
Very different from our team.
Yeah, we were loving it.
Like we were
clicking, man.
we were clicking, man. That was a B and Josh and we all talk about it as like that was the team to go out on.
Yeah.
That was the team to get out on because
Yeah.
it ended up on a high note.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
All right.
None of these really.
So check this out.
Tell me, but
The term SARC is gone.
really,
Yeah.
who's doing it?
I guess the pipeline is still there. This is the words that I'm getting, and the word that I'm getting is the pipeline is gone. Oh no, the pipeline is there. The term SARC is gone, and now they're just SOIDCs.
SOIDCs.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
So once you get out of 18 Delta, you're considered a Special Operations Independent Duty Corpsman.
So that's what they are.
That's what they are.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I tend not to hold on to things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear, and I get it. Like it doesn't affect you now,
Yeah.
but like being a SARC, like I personally like the SARC logo, the SARC pipeline, the community. I feel I'm not one of those guys by no means, but for some reason I have a very big attachment, and it could be because of my time in Recon and my time at MARSOC. I don't know. For those you don't know, if you're in Recon, in my day, you always had a SARC in the platoon, and then in MARSOC, you typically had one or two. A lot of times we had two of them in a team, and so I don't know, man. I feel very connected to that logo and to that community until I feel like they're like my people.
Yeah.
And to hear that it's gone, like that term is just delete.
Yeah.
Like that kind of hits me kind of hard.
That logo, the impossible.
Right.
The impossible anytime. No, I'm sorry. The difficult anytime. The impossible by appointment only.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
right.
For me now. I mean, it's really hard for me to think then. I mean, then I'd probably be like super fired up. I'd be like, no, like you can't do this.
Be shooting red SARC clusters up.
Yeah. But now I think, so for me, like the term, when you label something, it's kind of just like, what does it represent? Like the term is just an abstraction. Like what's underneath of it is what really matters. And so like, as long as the values and that everything kind of stays the same. Yeah. And then that'll always be there. It lives on. Like as long as the torch is carried, but it's just in a different name. Like that, I think that's the most important.
So I don't know if they'll have to. Right now, I'm hearing that they have to go to BRC or still does, but it looks like they're going to be cycling through. Basically, have to go through the MARSOC pipeline. So I don't know if it's I don't know if it's an and or thing, but essentially they will have to go through selection. I don't know if they'll have to take a screening because you've already technically taken the screening. but you will have to go through selection.
I support that. I think it's good because now you're going through the school with the Marines, so you're even more intertwined with the dudes who you're likely to be in a team with.
Like the SARCs were with Recon.
Right.
Like we'd all done the same thing. You just had done even more. So yeah, on that side it makes sense. Do you see any negatives that would hurt the community, or not hurt the community, hurt the units getting the individuals?
I don't think so.
No,
I can't speak on as to why, because I don't honestly, I don't know. Like, as long as everything's still intact, aside from the name, like I feel like it would still be good, you know.
There you go. Well, there you go, guys.
That's how I feel. I don't know. Yeah.
Keep on keeping on, man.
Just keep on keeping on. You know.
Stay hard.
Life is not constant.
Yeah.
Stay hard. Yes.
So we're on to let's talk about what you're doing now.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing now?
It's weird.
Well, actually, you know what? Let's back up. You get out, and you told us like the logistical part of. You talked about the logistical part of getting out and like what you did. Like you went to school, music school, or nursing school, then music school, and then your guy wanted to start a business. But I remember a couple other things. Where were you mentally?
You have to refresh my memory because I must have data dumped that.
Like, how were you emotionally and mentally?
Uptight, maybe.
Like, how long did it take you to figure out who you were and you?
I'm still figuring it out, to be honest.
I feel like you've gotten a pretty good handle. I'm
growing a little bit. So I'd say like 2000. So I got out in 2012. I'd say I started. What changed in my life was I got a pretty good roommate in Ben Vines. Mm-hmm. And we clicked, and we were able to share information with each other, and we both were trying to grow, and we started reading and learning. And
how many years after this?
So 2006, that was like 2016, 17-ish.
So like you went through like
4 or 5 years of just like,
man.
Yeah.
Because you lost a long-term relationship, which shocked the shit out of me.
Right.
I mean, we all kind of go through it.
Yeah, it's like a transition process. It's kind of really bumpy. When you don't have that camaraderie, I mean, even still today, like I feel like I search for that camaraderie in in anything.
It's different.
It's not this. It's never the same. It's never the same.
Yeah.
It's funny to me, since we're on the subject of how you can be so close with somebody. I mean, and then you get out, and it's like, yeah, dude, I'm not driving north of the bypass. Or like, it's like you don't make time for each other. Like, but we were thick as thieves, and it's kind of like
especially for us like Okie boys, right? Because you're there.
That's how brotherhood. Like you're like in each other's like
Isn't
everything.
it awesome that we just experienced it?
Yeah, most people
never even know what that is
because there's no you don't go out and go home to your wife and kids. Like you're there in the barracks with each other, just living.
So, what was the hardest thing during that time, that 4-year time?
I just had an attitude problem, I think. I didn't care about a whole lot. I was short, really. I mean, super. I mean, you've seen my rants. Like that's not what.
No, that's not.
That's not this. That's not this. That's me ranting. Is not me being angry or worked up.
You're asking questions.
Yeah, I'm just like, and no one's listening, so I'm just like screaming it. Maybe someone will be like, all right, maybe I should pay Will attention. But no, I was just.
Bro, I'll tell you. You know me. I was depressed and angry and bitter and and all the other emotions as well.
Yeah.
And it took me a little while to figure it out as well. Yeah. But dude, it's so much better afterwards.
Yes.
Like, life is awesome.
Life is good. I feel life is good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just have to kind of weather that storm, and I think the biggest thing is, and you tell me if this kind of goes with you as well. You get through it faster the faster you work on yourself.
Facts. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just moving. Like if you're sitting still, you can just picture it this way. Whenever you're sitting still and you're in a waiting office, or you're just waiting to be seen or something like that. Think about how slow time progresses.
Right.
Whereas when you're moving, like time just flies. So
right.
I mean, yeah.
The more execution, the more things you're trying, the more things you're getting into, the more people you're linking up.
Because you're not focused on time.
Yeah.
You're focused on the action.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it.
So it took you about 4 years to feel normal?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, the VA tried doing what the VA does They still do.
Issue you the VA
Pills.
starter pack.
Yeah.
And all the pills.
I'm not doing this. Like, even when I go in there now.
Did you start? Did you get on?
No.
You never got on them?
I never took any of that.
Oh, man, I did. It was the worst thing.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing I ever did.
Now it's just a roller coaster, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. You're just trying to play catch up.
Now, it
and
wasn't
keep
long.
up.
You know, luckily I had a lot of friends and a lot of people. You know, Carl and I met Ali, and I had a lot of people that were in that kind of headspace where, fortunate for me, they were like, I don't think these are good pills for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That stuff's not good.
So it was like, I want to say it was like a year. And then, HRT happened, about a year and a half after too. So that was a big game changer too.
Those chemicals that are released in those pills, you can find in other avenues. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So it kind of leads me to what you're doing now.
So me and my buddy started an online business, sells product from Indonesia called Kratom. It is, it's not approved by the FDA, so I can't really, go into anything because it's not, it's a dicey.
What is Kratom?
So Kratom is a leaf from Indonesia that
Okay.
they've used over there for different medicinal purposes.
What does it
do? Energy, pain relief, focus.
How do you use it?
You just eat it.
You eat
Or
it?
make it into a tea. Yeah.
That's the two ways you can do it.
Yeah.
Are they processing it into other things yet?
No.
Like gummies or Kratom gummies? No.
Not that I know of.
So
no.
it's straight like
Yeah.
leaves.
Yeah.
Like you're selling
Yeah.
leaves.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Where I want to buy one.
So
Where do
my
you go?
website is mysticislandkratoms.com. And so it's Mystic Island and Kratoms with a S. mysticislandkratoms.com. Yeah. I mean, if anyone's ever got any questions, they can just message me on Instagram or something like that. And
Speaking
I
of
can
your
be-
Instagram,
I can be
up
clear.
until recently, you had no post.
Yeah.
You had like 70 followers, and you would get on, and it was just nothing but stories.
Yeah.
You would just get on stories and just lose it
Yeah.
about everything going on.
Yeah. I'm a nutbag.
And I'm always like, Will, who the fuck are you talking to?
Myself. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we gain you some on this. We gain you
Yeah.
some followers.
Yeah, just come along, man. Just get
Enjoy-
inside my mind and just
enjoy
be like,
the
what
journey.
is wrong with this dude?
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Your glasses and everything.
Yeah. Well, those glazes are so obnoxious.
Yeah.
That's why I love them even more. I went on a run that morning when I made my first post, and I was like feeling good because like my running had been sucking. And
I'm surprised you didn't put like felt cute. Might delete later.
I thought about it. Seriously, this is not.
I
a game.
commented. I was like, "What is this? A post on your like this? Your whole
Yeah.
Instagram
Yeah.
account is ruined now."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Maybe you'll have to start posting. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows, man? It's. I got plenty of shit to say.
Yeah, you do.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. So let's get back on the business. So you started this business what year?
2016. So around about the time I started on the upswing,
And obviously, it's doing very, very well.
just doing well.
Yeah.
COVID. I feel like COVID's kind of
COVID hit everybody.
hit everybody.
Yeah,
but
it hit everybody.
it's doing well.
Are you seeing the recovery now? Are you recovering?
I'd say so. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
It's not what it was, but it's doing all right.
But it's getting back. Do you think
Yeah.
it will get back to
I
what
think
it
so.
was?
Effort, man. Everything takes effort.
Yeah.
And so it just takes a little bit more effort, to get what was lost, to find who was lost.
So when did you start using Kratom?
Oh man, 2000. When I got out of the military, when my girlfriend took me into my buddy's shop,
Okay.
and that's the first time I ever ate it. Yeah.
And then what did you personally feel?
Oh man, I loved it. Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, energy.
Did you ever get depressed? Did you ever feel any depression or anything?
No.
No?
No.
Even with losing guys and all that kind of stuff.
No. Justin probably. Sad. Yeah.
Not depressed, but sad.
Yeah, angry.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I was necessarily depressed. Yeah.
Pissed off.
Sad, man. I was mainly sad. That was my homie.
Yeah, you were sad, but I also remember you being very pissed off at. I mean, not to make it sound weird, but the system.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like
yeah.
when you got out, you were pissed at the system.
Yeah, that 2010 deployment really left a dent in my
Yeah.
emotional processing. Yeah.
So you didn't get the VA pills. You're drinking Kratom tea and stuff. Did Do you feel like it helped?
Yeah, man. That along with like doing something you love, I think that's super important.
Which at the time was music.
Yeah, man. I dove headfirst into that.
So
all
you
my
found-
money, everything, just in it.
I want you guys to listen. You found a passion,
Right.
and you did something.
That's
you were
right.
executing towards
Yeah,
a passion,
yeah.
which is not necessarily what you're doing now, but it led you. It
yeah.
led you to that.
Yeah.
And so many people are like, well, I don't know how to find a passion. Well, you just got to start.
Do something.
Do something.
Don't sit. This is a weird story, but Duncan Trussell was on Joe Rogan one time, and they were talking about. I'll never forget this, and it was kind of as the time I started making movement in my right direction. Listen, I mean, I feel like Rogan is a catalyst for a lot of people, just for some reason. You know what I mean?
That's why these long form conversations are so important. Because, I mean, you can't make a 10-minute video and get everything out. Like you have to have these conversations and like and back and forth and get these different pains. Anyways,
so Duncan's talking about like this really big overweight guy that was like sitting in a chair. You know, he's so big he can't get up, and he's like, well, what do I do? He's like, just jiggle. You know what I mean? Like do something. Like just do something to get your energy moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it will transform into something.
Yeah.
Like these.
It's energy expenditure.
Right. It takes time, and we don't always have, especially nowadays, we don't have the patience to sit around and look at, wait for the result.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Not in personal growth. Well, actually, no, not in nothing.
Anything. Let's say anything.
Ain't worth anything.
Yeah, it takes time or some shit like that. Like it does. We can't expect change in a matter of months.
It's funny, man. When I first started my first business in 2014, I thought within a year, December 13, I thought within a year I'd be like, oh, this business is gonna be making $1 million. My very first business. I didn't know shit about business. Yeah. I was like, oh, I fell in love with that plan so much. I'm like, this is, I'm gonna crush it. Yeah. 8 years later, I'm like, we're getting there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It takes time.
It takes time, man.
It takes time.
And there's ebb and flows throughout the whole process.
Exactly, and learning process and stuff. Yeah. But the biggest thing is just start doing something.
Yes, do something. Do anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to run right away. Go for a walk.
That's right.
I mean, that's cliche, but
so how did you the whole business process start?
So it was Ben. He's like the numbers dude. You know what I mean? It was his idea. And he was like, "You want to do this?" So I kind of was like the people person. Mm-hmm. I went out and did the this is back on Reddit when you could solicit on Reddit. Mm-hmm. There was Kratom forums. So there was one Kratom forum where it was like,
and you were already using it, so you knew the benefit.
I knew
you knew how it made you feel and the benefits of it.
I knew. So, but we came late to the party.
Yeah.
So coming late to the party was kind of, we're lucky. We're not lucky, but we're fortunate to be where we are because we did come late. And there's not really many ways back then to like advertise unless you like do the Google search thing.
Yeah.
But Reddit was like, far as I know, Reddit was the bread and butter for
where to find
marketing for Kratom.
Yeah.
But they were the Reddit r/Kratom was very cliquey at the time, to say the least. So if a new vendor came along, they'd have like a little army of minions and just like down you. You know what I mean? So luckily, they had pissed off enough people to where those people went and made another subreddit.
Okay.
And then I was able to get into there early.
Okay.
And like the initially ground level.
So you didn't have to deal with this whole group of people trying to attack you.
Yeah, no, it was like they became my army.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. And so from there it's kind of just word of mouth, and it's honestly we don't do a whole lot of marketing or advertising. It's just word of mouth. Or however people do things.
Can you market and advertise?
Yeah, I was going to say, with it not being FDA approved, I'm sure there's all kinds of red flags they trigger on social media.
People do it somehow. I don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a way to do it. We can just there's ways to do things. So you don't break any rules, because that's not what we're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you know how much have you dug into like the I guess the medical side of things of Kratom?
There's the AKA, the American Kratom Association, and they have scientists that help, because the people have tried to make Kratom illegal multiple times. The FDA, the DEA, like all these.
Well, we know why, right?
Yeah. It's big pharma, obviously.
And taxes.
Yeah.
It's
It's
1920s prohibition all over again.
It's simple. So I lost my train of thought there.
Oh, the scientist benefits.
The scientist benefit, AKA, and all that. Yeah. So I've never really, all my information and that I know is all anecdotal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's all just stories. I mean, we've had customers. I mean, people would just come and just talk about the benefits of it, of how it's helped them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can you share one?
Yeah. So, we know there's a pain pill epidemic.
Of course.
In America. So doctors were just prescribing heavily, pain pills. So
well, I mean, let me just look at the VA. It's like, hey, my back hurts, and I want to see a chiropractor. We can't really do that, but I can give you tramadol.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
No. These are just Band-Aids, right? Yeah. So they cut back like their prescription by like 3/4. So this is someone who's been on opiates for 10 years or so, and then they just cut them back. Well, what's that person going to do? Well, one is they're going to go find other street drugs, right? Or
that's how people become heroin addicts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a reality.
Yeah.
I've heard plenty of stories. I'm sure everyone's heard stories of people their heroin addiction starts with pills, and then for one, all addictions start in a doctor's office, right?
Of course. Yeah.
It's good for business, but. Or they can find other alternatives that like help them, and so Kratom keeps people off of pills, and it keeps them sober. Like people can say being on Kratom's not sober, but that's a matter for the debate. It doesn't impair it doesn't impair your cognitive function.
That would lead me to say, okay, then are you addicted to caffeine?
Oh yeah. See, it's slippery slope when they start playing this game, right? It's
like what is what?
Yeah,
you know, like if I take your morning cup of coffee away, what's going to happen to you?
Yeah, you're gonna be an asshole.
You're gonna feel groggy. You're gonna have a headache.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So
like anything,
sugar.
Let's not even talk about sugar. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. No one wants to talk about that. Sugar is was it 10 times more addicted to cocaine?
Yeah.
It's not a conspiracy. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's real.
That's real shit.
Yeah, it's.
But they said that if could you imagine the world if cocaine was as addictive as sugar? Like, you're done, dude. Your life's over. You know. But no, we can keep pumping the sugar chain all day in America.
It's the health debate. Jesus, I saw a clip of Fauci back in this is sidetrack, but
no. Let's here we go. No. Here we go.
He was being interviewed by I don't know who it was. It was just I guess
how far back?
2019. So before the pandemic.
Okay.
And the guy was asking, he's like, what happens? Like, if I get sick or do I have to wear a mask? And Fauci's like, no. He's like, no, just exercise, eat a good diet. All these things that everyone on our side of the table has been preaching this whole time.
Right.
But meanwhile, that shit don't matter now. Now it's like, get the juice and wear a diaper.
I like that. Those memes are going around. It's like, man, 2 weeks to flatten the curve went real fast. The three jabs to feed your family.
Nice. Look at him. He's a winner.
He is a winner.
There's so many contradictions,
I like the one that the most recent one that goes. I think Tucker is that his name? Tucker Carlson?
Fox?
Yeah, Fox guy.
I love his rhetoric, dude. He's on fire.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, I'm a conservative to a point. But I would definitely say, babe, I'd lead more libertarian, I guess.
The only thing I think you differ with on being a libertarian, because I would say we both are libertarians, is probably foreign policy. Just because a typical libertarian would say, bring everybody back, stay out of people's business.
I would love to live in the same Care Bear cloud world that they live in too, but this is called Earth. That doesn't work that way.
Reality.
Yeah. Anyways, so it was talking about he just put a video up saying, because they're all pushing like mandatory vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally like 6 months ago. All of them. Pelosi, Fauci, old Sleepy Joe, Kamala, all of them were saying there's no way we could mandate a vaccine. No, this is 2020, so
Yeah,
Trump was still in office.
Yeah. Oh man,
Trump was still in office. They were like, "There's no way that would be just wrong, immoral. We don't even have the authority to do that as the federal government." All of them said this, and then now it's like
fast forward.
It's like, no, you will get a vaccine or else.
What number of employees? What do you think? If this has like been a debate around people that I hang around. Like, if you have 125 employees, are you getting rid of 126 of them? Like, what's that?
You mean 20 or 26?
I'm sorry, 26. Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
That depends. I think you just go no.
Yeah.
That's the thing is you have to people have to start saying no. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. We have the power as the people.
Yeah.
We just not unified.
I like the ones, the Holocaust survivors, the children of the Holocaust that were like, when these laws came out in the 30s, it was like, oh, it's just another law, it'll blow over. Just another law, just another thing. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. It's just another little thing. Oh, don't worry. It's for our safety, or it's for this. It'll just blow over. And they said that they really started, the quote is like, we started getting nervous when to go outside, you had to wear a star on your clothes. What the fuck do you think a vaccine passport is?
Yeah. It's another form of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Yeah. People are like, for something that is basically 99% recoverable from.
Yeah.
And not even if you're healthy, it's like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine,
so anyways, if you guys didn't listen, if you don't follow Will Fairall on Instagram, you're missing out on your day.
This Will Fairall, not Will Fairall.
Spelled different.
Just to clarify.
Oh, so they can find him.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be in the show notes.
Fairall.
Yeah. Spell it for him.
Fairall.
Find him and watch his stories.
Oh man,
now
I gotta start pumping them out.
So you're already pumping them out, but he lets it rip. Anyways, so keep talking to me about this stuff.
So did you? What about?
Why are you so upset about all this, Will?
Because no one on the other side wants to acknowledge any of this. It's like it exists, and everyone's just like, Trump mania is over, and it's like
Trump mania.
So now
it's like a wrestling show.
So now it's just over. Like, Trump lost the election, or did he? And
stop. Hold on. Did he legitimately lose the election?
How does anyone know for sure? But there's videos of ballots. There's video of supposed people.
What is your personal thoughts? And I'll share mine.
What do I think?
Yeah.
Emotionally, hell yeah. Like, look, Joe Biden is supposedly the most popular president in American history. There's football stadiums screaming, "Fuck Joe Biden, fuck Joe." These are college kids. Like, if those videos are actually real, so you telling me?
That's my thing. It's like, I feel like, I just don't see it. Like, he got more votes than Obama. I could see how Obama won. People wanted Bush done.
Yeah.
They were tired of the war. They were tired of everything going on. They wanted change, right?
Yeah.
So, I served under Obama, and I did not like it personally. I didn't like being a business owner under him. But nonetheless, whatever. I get how he won legitimately. Bro, I just don't. As a very grounded human being in this country, I just don't see how it happened.
Maybe people aren't grounded. I don't know.
I mean, maybe the country is so far off.
Well, city centers, right? Because if you go out to any rural area, like where I'm from,
81 million people, bro, voted for Sleepy Joe. Come on.
In cackling Kamala.
I just don't see. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that it is. I just don't see how it legitimately happened.
Yeah, I think. Why are we not locked down right now?
I don't know.
Isn't it supposedly worse than what it was back during election season?
I think that because people are so on edge, I don't think you can lock us down right now. I think you would. I mean, you're already seeing a huge growing rebellion in the country of people saying, "Nah, I'm done." I mean, now you got states suing over this COVID policy.
Yeah.
Like, people are done. They're done.
Yeah, but it's so scattered. Like, just like my thoughts are on this, because you'll say something, it's like a rabbit hole to somewhere else. Like, COVID's horrible, but then you look at football stadiums and just people don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like they're just like stadiums packed out.
Why isn't the Taliban getting knocked out?
Oh, dude, why are the Afghans vaccinated? They are coming to America. Quick question. How about the southern border? What about those thousands of people living on their bridges in Texas? What about those people? Are they vaccinated?
I mean, maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe Biden's crew is going down there with the jab.
Are they getting the swab up the nose? Let's talk the rapid test. Garbage, right? So he sat on TV the other day and he said Walmart and all these other major carriers are going to start calling these rapid tests.
Okay.
Right.
What is the rapid test?
I think it's a test you put up your nose, you swab it around, you put it on a stick. I don't know. I've never done one.
The one you do yourself.
Yeah.
You go through the CVS drive-through, you can get a rapid
And you're
test.
just like,
You literally have no one like checking to see where you're getting. You could just touch it inside your nose.
But they pulled it off, right? It's done. Like you can't do that because they found it so inaccurate, right?
No, but they're selling. So apparently the only good test that's accurate is a PCR. I could be very wrong on this, but from what I've talked to, everyone's like the PCR, whatever test that is actually the accurate one. The other ones, the rapid tests aren't that good. So this is what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. To fly, you had to have a negative test, right, within 72 hours or something like that, or
we just did this
vaccine,
coming back from Greece,
right?
Yeah.
So other day, my mom was getting married, but I got some.
Congratulations, Mom.
Yeah, love you, Mom. But I have old people that are in my family, and they're like 90s. Like I'm not. I'm not denying any of this, right? The COVID kills people who are immunocompromised and old people. Like that's a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The problem is they try to take away people's liberties. Like they try to force something on someone, and then we start fighting back. Like no one, if they were like, hey, get the vaccine, or hey, first of all, everyone has to wear a mask. Your fucking shit sucks.
Yeah.
Like if it's something, it's just whatever. So I call the medac and I'm like, hey, I need to get a test. They're like, okay. And they're like, well, I just want to let you know that even if this test shows negative, you can still be asymptomatic. So what fucking good is your test then? Like if I get this test and it says I'm negative, which means I should be good to go, you're telling me I could still have it. So what good is this? What good is this test doing anybody?
Test just for symptoms?
I don't. Yeah, apparently. So if it's positive,
but wouldn't you know if you had symptoms?
Right. And so if it's positive, then you know.
Yeah.
But if it's negative, you could still be positive, just be asymptomatic, which was like this whole argument we had back a year ago when they were like, oh, you could be asymptomatic robots, or like, so your tests are shit. And this is the test that you're requiring people to have to show that they can travel when they could still be asymptomatic and still be carrying the virus. So your test is shit.
I don't understand why they're not letting, like in other countries when we were in Greece, they're allowing people to use the antibody test to travel. Mm-hmm. Why isn't the U.S. allowing people to use the antibody test to travel? It makes so much more sense. Right? If you've had it and you can't give it to anyone.
We don't acknowledge it, natural immunity.
Well, now they're saying that if you have the antibodies, it's actually better than the actual.
Oh, you mean this thing called nature? Yeah. I feel like there's other conspiracies around too. I don't know if it's true or not, but like the FDA could not get emergency approval for the vaccine unless there were no other treatments, courses of treatment available.
Yes. So that's why I think that they're pushing so hard back on any type of medicine that can. What was the chloroloxif?
Hydrochlorine.
When that was the first one,
they roasted that woman.
Good God! Like destroyed her. Right?
She's in hiding. She's in a bunker somewhere in Kansas.
Now with ivermectin and glutathione and NAD and all these different things that you can do to boost your immune system and kind of clear out. Use antioxidants to clear out your body. Right.
Yeah.
And the only way for them to continue to get federal government funding for this vaccine is if there's no other medicines that can treat it.
Yeah. There's big money in this.
So then pharmaceutical companies, in conjunction with big tech, just try to debunk everything so that they the money faucet stays on.
Right.
I mean, like that whole thing with Joe Rogan and CNN, like that was nuts.
Dude.
Did you see that they changed his? He did a story talking about what he did.
Right.
They took the video and changed the color of the video to green so he looked sick. And they're saying he's taking horse dewormers and this and that.
True. Yes, but it's approved for human and
And it won a Nobel Peace Prize.
Just because something
humans.
works for something doesn't mean it can't be used for something else.
But it was
for humans.
For humans, it won for humans,
yeah.
and that's how India is. It's like
we'll never hear about it.
We're not hearing about it. We're not hearing about it. You know, but and again, going back to if you look at like if you get into the special operations world to where you look at like trying to but like basically fight terror. You chase the money.
Yeah.
Like when at a strategic level, anytime you look at
most crimes.
Any crime, right? Any
follow
crime,
money, yeah.
You follow the money. Well, if we follow the money on this fucking thing,
cities are burning down. You know
right?
what I mean, like
it's
don't get cities burning down. We can't go to church, but they can fucking riot and loot cities. You know what I mean?
How
we
mad
can't,
are you, Will?
These things that just get me. Because they don't make any sense, but yet no one asked the question. So if I was like that, like during the last 4 years, previous 4, because that's what it is, it's ignorant. So if I was like that,
it's fear. You're selling fear.
But if I completely ignored whatever it is Trump did, you know what I mean? Because he's on my side or I'm on his side, then I get it and I was wrong, right?
Okay.
That's me acknowledging my fault.
Yeah.
But why can't anyone else seemingly do that now? Just be like, wow, this shit is not adding up. Like, what the fuck is he doing? What's up with Joe's broadcast just going blank?
Every time he asks a question.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta ask you a question. And then this shit just goes blank. And they asked the Secretary of State about that. What's his name? Blinken? Blinken? And he was just like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea.
Yeah. Now, imagine if something was to go wrong on one of your Instagram posts. How quick would someone bring it to your attention, right? Like, I feel like there's always people out there willing to tell someone that something is wrong. Yeah, right? So,
sound's off. Fix your sound, whatever.
Yeah, so imagine on that level.
Of course.
Someone's up there saying, hey, this shit cut off. No, they didn't because he's like, Joe Biden is in complete control. Yeah, my ass.
Boy.
Yeah.
Maybe I watch too much sci-fi. And Nick and I had this conversation the other day. So this could totally just be me on like one of these.
Sure.
But
let it rip.
This is we did the math. This was just my personal opinion. Because, Bill Gates has done a ton of like talks throughout his years.
Oh, I like this talk.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to like this one.
About how we're overpopulated, right? And like we need to handle the overpopulation or we're going to run out of resources. And like every sci-fi movie ever made, we are running out of resources, right? So in my head, I'm like, okay, so what if because there's so many reports about this causing infertility, the different vaccines.
Yes.
So what if all they needed to do was make every country, every group of people all over the world infertile for a period of a year to lower the population? Sure. How many less births would there be? And let's say you're infertile for that year and the year after because of the medicine.
Right.
How much does that drop the population? On top of the fact, it's basically like we're putting the old people down, right? Because the COVID,
right?
But like, if this was the secondary effect, what's the numbers?
It was 171 million babies are born a year.
No, billion.
Million.
Wasn't it?
No, million.
Look it up. Really
million
quick.
in a year.
Here.
You that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's what you do. 171 million.
Yeah.
All right. So that's in 1 year.
Right.
All right. Now say, even if you don't look at 2 years, let's just look at 1 year, a 12-month time frame of
140 million. Okay.
140. That's not what Siri said the other day.
16 million births in China alone.
They'd be getting after it.
Maybe they're getting
There's just a lot of people.
140 million in 12-month period. All right. So 140 million, and let's say, and that's a whole. See what you have to understand though, that there is a 1 year of not creating human beings. There is a trickle effect with that, because so let's just say 20 years from now, all right, that's 140 million people that never existed,
right?
That they're not going to create other babies, right? So say that the world reproduces at 2.5. Do you know what the average reproduction rate is? I know that America is like 2.5. So we can just go off that. I'm sure that.
I mean, other countries get after it. Like
Afghanistan's, it's like 12.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Like it's culture based, right? So
it
it's
is
kind of
culture
like
based.
so,
Yeah.
and ours is decreasing, right? Like people aren't pumping out babies as much, right?
Meanwhile, they're like, wow, 10 at a time.
Double down.
The Mormons are doing it for us. Thank them.
Catholics too. Thank God.
Catholics and Mormons are like, nah, man, we're making babies. So 140. So let's just do that. And somebody on here is gonna be like, Nick, your math is all wrong times.
But essentially,
that's now in 20 years. That's 350 million less, and then you keep doing that. Another 20.
Worldwide,
875 million less. You know what I mean? And it continues on.
Right.
And I'm sure there's some sort of statistic person that's like, actually, it's under because of this.
Yeah, they created an algorithm essentially.
Yeah, we're sitting here just shooting a shit, trying to,
you know what I mean? But do you see what I'm saying? Like, and within 100 years, so you go. Let's just do. That's what 20. That's 120. So within 40 years, it's already 170. So another 40 is 60 times 2.5. That's
a big fucking number, bro.
That's 2 billion, 2.1 billion.
Essentially, you're
in
making
60 years.
You're
in
dealing
60
with
years,
the problem, right?
Yeah,
Essentially,
in 60 years, a low lifespan that's a low lifespan. Somebody dies at 60. You've just got rid of 2.1 billion people.
So you saying Bill Gates is trying to save the Earth?
He's Thanos, bro.
He created. That's what we were.
Because they're saying that a lot of people are basically you have
a period of
infertility from this vaccine or one version of it.
Yeah, I'm very curious because I know because there's been pretty massive amounts of comments about like menstrual periods and how heavy the flow is and like all that. I'm not a woman, but like irregularities and that. So does that kind of tie into like the infertility stuff?
Yes, and then the fact that like I don't know if it's something that they've done on purpose or not. I've just heard that because they don't know what birth defects could come thereafter.
That's the thing.
So I just did the math for 100 years. So for 1 century of no births in 1 year, it comes out to at the rate of 2.5.
Yeah.
13.6 billion.
Less people on the planet.
Less people on the planet in 100 years.
That's crazy.
Not even counting the people that are dying of COVID because they're unhealthy or dealing with pre-existing conditions or whatever.
It's like a 0.0 whatever percent.
Where'd the flu go?
I actually brought that. I was looking for that graph because there was like it was like 40 to 60,000 or 60,000 cases in the U.S. and then now it's 2,000.
So
COVID cured the flu.
So what I read was, they're like, people were being more sanitary and wearing masks. So what you're essentially saying is that masks work for the flu and not for COVID. Good one.
So I did a podcast with I don't know what season it's in the show somewhere. If you look up Dr. Kirk Parsley, early on when this kind of started happening, I want to say it was like March or April of like when COVID happened in 2020. He kind of debunked the whole mask thing. He wanted to say, he's like, listen, and believe it or not, Fauci said the same thing early on. He's just not singing that tune now. Yeah. But he goes, you got to understand what the size of a virus is. So if I blow up, you look at a mask, even a medical mask that has fibers.
Like an N95?
Yeah.
That's what everyone says is the best, right?
It has holes in it, right? At a microscopic level. So he's like, you blow these masks up, the holes between the fibers, if you blow the virus up, the little spiky circle, if you blow that up to the size of a marble, if you blow the mask up at the same rate, exponential rate, the hole on the mask would be like an 8 foot by 8 foot doorway. How many marbles could you throw through an 8 foot by 8 foot doorway?
Many. Okay, you're saying on a microscope. I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Like if you were to blow it up.
Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how. Yeah, because they're relatively small
whatever
virus.
it is.
Yeah.
So whatever relative size that is, if you blew the virus up to the size of a marble and you blew the mask up to the same ratio, then that the holes through the mask would be like an 8 foot by 8 foot hole.
Yeah.
He's like that shit ain't stopping nothing.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, it ain't doing anything.
Meanwhile, people out there wearing T-shirts around their face.
Yeah, and
Like,
and he goes, and you know, the argument is like, well, surgeons, you know, are wearing masks and they're gloved up, and his thing was like, yes, you have to understand the reason why they're doing that is actual debris. Yeah. They're in a surgical room with an open open body, and they don't want anything to go in there. Yeah. You know, whether it be spit, saliva, or anything. You know. They want no dust. They don't want anything to enter that cavity.
I mean, this is a respiratory disease anyway.
Yeah,
like it lives in the nasal cavity. If I remember what I heard, and the person knew what they were talking about. So masks.
Yeah,
I don't. And people, and you get somebody and you talk about masks, they'll say, "Well, something's better than nothing."
Did you read the document that he wrote? I want to say it was in 2008. About the Spanish flu.
Who, Fauci?
Yeah.
No. This is before he was paid off?
Yeah, I guess. Or he was getting paid by somebody at the time. But essentially, he was talking about the what was it, babe, 1912, the Spanish flu. So we actually have done this whole mask thing before in the U.S. This is not new. And there was a big rebellion back then. A lot of people wearing those like crazy doctor, like scary.
1918.
1918.
Which wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, look at that. Look at those masks, dude.
Oh, the thing with the like the beaks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on there? Anyways, so you imagine walking there and seeing that shit?
Yeah.
They're just covering their noses, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, science has come a long way, but no one wants to do that. People are like, let's go live in space. Like, people don't even want to wear a mask. You talking about putting on a spacesuit every day?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So anyways, this paper basically talked about bacterial pneumonia. That a majority of the people that got sick back then was not actually from the Spanish flu, but from bacterial pneumonia from wearing masks. It's like you expel.
The mask made them sicker.
Yeah, so you expel this, you know, our waste or CO2, and then, you know, whether it be moisture or whatever, but it was getting moldy, and you know you're having to constantly breathe this thing, and you know, that's why people say, well, you're supposed to change out your mask. We all know that they hang them up on their. You see them all the time. They hang them up on their rearview mirror and they put them right back on.
Are not. It's not a cleanly process. It's
no,
not,
if they truly,
nothing.
yeah. So, anyways, this paper that Fauci wrote basically said that masks make you sick, or prolonged use to wearing masks make you sick. Yeah. And so, anyways, that's what was. You know, I was just like, oh well, haven't we changed our tune there?
Yeah, massively.
You know? But nonetheless, whatever.
Here we are.
Digress. The bottom line is it's about taking our freedoms away and the freedoms that you guys fought so hard to protect. And
well, you know, yeah, and that's what I come back to. I'm like, it should just be back to your choice. Like, you want to wear a mask? I'm not going to hate anybody for wearing. Like, we have a friend that is compromised, and she has to wear a mask. And
wear it.
Wear it.
Wear it, dude.
I'm not compromised.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm good.
If someone would just acknowledge the benefit of being healthy.
No
one
one government in the entire world has come out and said, "Hey, this very virus that makes you sick, you're gonna live. But hey, if you're healthier and you're not overweight and you get some vitamin D and you exercise, then you're gonna be good."
Yeah.
Instead of what we looked up, which was the generation just beneath us, millennials, have gained an average of 40 pounds in the last year.
29 in millennials, 49 overall.
America's the fattest country in the world, right?
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. Well, look, you can't.
So instead, so they straight up say if you go out and get healthy, that will help you. Yeah. And then what our government has said, stay inside, wear masks,
close down gyms.
Order Grubhub, watch Netflix.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
It does. It only makes sense if their goal is control.
Yeah.
If your goal is to take your civil liberties away and to control you,
so here
with
we
a fear
are
machine,
having this conversation, someone might hear it. Please, come with the other side of this and be like, yeah, you know what, you're right, or yeah, you know what, like no one wants to go into like a discussion about the other side of this, and it absolutely drives me nuts.
Like the people hanging outside of buildings smoking cigarettes with their mask hanging down over their neck.
But don't worry, emergency approval by the FDA. The FDA also approves cigarettes. So, like, what? I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Like, how can you take this shit serious? Like, you go to grocery stores full of, like, I eat sweet shit. I have a sweet tooth, but I also realize how shitty that is for you and your health. You know what I mean?
But that's your choice.
That is my choice.
Right.
Right.
It's amazing that you can have some personal choice in there.
You say funny, the same side, it was my body, my choice. It's kind of like, nah, that shit don't matter no more.
Well, it's the same thing. And I don't know if the other side of people that are like the vaccine people, the mask people, I don't know if they see the same media that I see, but I see this stuff all the time. Like all these people screaming about mask, and then you see them at like the AOC was up at a gala.
Oh, dude,
all these
she's
people,
a trip.
and they're all of them. John Legend, all wear a mask. She's like been the mask Karen for the past like 18 months. Bro. And what do they wear? A whole bunch of them in there.
She had a tax the rich dress on, surrounded by a bunch of rich people.
At $30,000 a plate.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
how hypocrite are you?
Meanwhile, she had two people carrying her dress, had masks on.
Damn.
I mean, maybe it was their choice, but like, come on. No, that's not a thing. I've seen, she's been busted so many times, but yet again, no one talks about it. I saw her on a photo op. She was hanging out like
on the steps.
Yeah. Pay picture time. Put on my mask.
And nobody else did it. That was funny.
Yeah, just her.
That was just her.
Yeah.
And then she looked around. She was like, "Oh shit!" And she took it off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Fucking pressure, huh? Public pressure.
Or people that had the mic on and they're like, "Yeah, we just gotta do a little political theatrics." Like, how can anyone? Or Psaki, when she slipped up, I know this is conspiracy theory talk, but she was like the pandemic. Like she legit said that shit. Whether it was like a Freudian slip or whatever, dude. Like, come on. Like, how can anyone not see this and not get frustrated? You know, like, I don't know. Because people are so stuck down in their own throats. Did
you ever think that the world would be this way right now when you got out?
I didn't think anything.
No?
No.
I never thought.
I never thought.
I was like, I'm going to get out and enjoy all my freedoms and all while everybody else is, because back when we were going to Iraq all the time and Afghanistan, the whole joke was like, the Marines are at war, America's at the mall.
Yeah.
I got out and was like, shit, I'm going to be at the mall now.
I'm going
to the mall.
Yeah, I can do it.
I can do it now. And this is the shit that we've
when the government starts treating the citizens like employees, you know what I mean? That's a problem. That's an overstretch of bounds. Well,
and like you said, it all comes down to there's the hypocrisy of everything they say and everything they do. So it's like the 9/11 photo op with all the presidents and everybody that was there, and like right before that, they're all together, none of them have masks on. They take a photo there and they all put it on. It's like, what are you trying? You're selling fear to people.
Yeah.
You guys don't even believe your own shit that you're saying.
No.
So what is the point?
Yep. I want to believe you. I want to. Like, every time I listen to Joe Biden speak, I'm like,
come on,
benefit of the doubt today. And then his last one, whatever, about his COVID plan, he came out and he immediately started with the rhetoric of like, when I took office, there was only 2 million people vaccinated. Today, there's 176 or whatever people vaccinated.
No, the first time he did it, he said, there's 353 million people vaccinated in this country.
Oh, we could talk. Well, it is dementia, but
I'm like,
what?
There's not even that many people. There's not even that many people in the United States.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. But he comes out. Well, of course, there's only 2 million people vaccinated. The vaccine just came out. Like, this is Trump's vaccine. Like, Trump got the ball rolling. You didn't get inaugurated on January whatever day, and then like it magically appeared. This was a process that was happening way before you were even elected.
That's his vaccine. That's his plan. But Afghanistan, that's Trump's fault.
That's Trump's fault. Oh yeah. God. Yeah, that's what it is.
That's
Afghanistan.
That's Trump's fault.
What a shit show.
Yeah, dude. That alone, I mean, he in my humbled opinion, that he should be removed from office. Like, that alone that's enough.
It was Trump's idea. Trump will openly say that he did not want to be in Afghanistan anymore.
See, which I don't agree with.
He should never went over there.
See, I don't agree with that either. It's like, yes, again, going back to the Care Bear land. It's really nice to say, like, the whole libertarian thing, like, bring all our troops home. Yeah. There's 2,500 people in Afghanistan.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Nothing.
What we got in Korea and like all these other places.
30,000. There's like 80,000 people in Europe.
Yeah. And if this shit keeps terror at bay,
that's it, right?
Like, why not?
If 2,500 Americans that volunteered,
they're getting paid
and volunteered to go to Afghanistan, then like, what's the
deal?
What's the deal?
It's more to it. It's got to be.
Yeah,
I
think
the giving of like biometric data and just names and like
$85 billion worth of our gear. And now China's looking at it.
Right, and China was there within
24
a day.
hours.
Yeah, Taliban was like, China and us, we dabbing up. We homies, bro.
Yeah.
We good. Like, you're our partners in crime now.
And if you don't think that is not a long-term global plan, you're just ignorant. And you're being distracted with fucking masks.
Yeah. Bro. Like, what kind of exfil results in us leaving? Like, if you're a general or if you're anybody in charge, you should have a general understanding of the AO in which you're commanding. Right? So, like, you should know that the Afghan people, like, they're better when we're there.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen it with the ALP, right?
Yeah.
The local police we train. We done. Dude, trouble comes, they dump their guns or they sell their guns to the Taliban or like whatever. They run away. Like, they get in a firefight, they run away. Like, it's nothing new. This should not be shocking that when we left or said that we were leaving that they were going to do what they were going to do. So that's for someone who doesn't know, I can see where it might make sense, but for someone who does, like, it's obvious that they were just
like
gonna,
we
they
all
were gonna
like
run away.
even at the lowest levels, I feel like guys are like, well, no shit, that was going to happen.
Duh.
And if you were a general and you're like, you couldn't advise your your leaders to make a better decision, like, you should all be held accountable.
Yeah, damn right.
And now we lost lives because of it.
13, right?
Yeah.
I'm not speaking. 13 people died. So, like, I know if we...
And several more gravely injured that are still fighting.
And not to mention the Afghan people.
Oh.
Right? That matters. That really matters.
That's
going
to be... You're going to see atrocities.
And that was just in Kabul. Imagine what was happening throughout the rest of the country. Oh, my God. Like, in the villages. Like, I don't even want... It's crazy.
Well, that whole belt.
Yeah.
The whole Pashtun belt is going to be just terror.
As far as, it's got to be. I don't see how, like, we've seen it.
And that's the thing, is the atrocities that will happen there. Majority of people will never know.
The cameras left, man. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine, like, so Jimmy, I was talking about, got shot and bounced off the cop mic. Went like, it doesn't matter if we were getting shot at or not. When that bird landed, when he was getting taken out to the helo in the side, like, guns were just raining hell on whatever terrain, land.
Yeah.
Like, this is for you, Jimmy. Like, I mean, he was alive, and we were just like shooting everything. Like, you know what I mean? But like 13 Americans died, and supposedly there was a drone strike
that hurt more people.
That actually probably killed civilians. But Rand Paul was questioning the Secretary of State dude again, and the Secretary of State guy was like, "Yeah, we're still gathering intel." Or he didn't say that, like Rand Paul's like, "Hey, don't you think you should know, like."
Before you do something?
Before you drop a drone on, like, use a drone to drop a missile on somebody? Like, I
mean, it's embarrassing at the world level.
And, like, we look, in my opinion, super weak.
Oh, 100%.
Super weak.
I mean, you got our enemies making fun of us.
Yeah. And now we just give, like, the Taliban, they just have free reign on the whole country. Like, they're not, even if they were a minor cell, which I don't think they are.
The world's gonna pay the price.
They can just do whatever they want to do. Now they have the whole country to run. They're like their government.
That's what's so sad, is the world's gonna pay the price for this, and it's America's fault.
Yeah,
it's Biden's fault.
It's Biden's fault. It's botched.
It's
botched. That's when he walks away and don't take questions. You know what I mean? It's just like he's a weak, frail looking man. Like, when you see him stand up there and he like grabs the podium and he like tries to be like all like assertive. There's nothing assertive about that man.
No.
Maybe it's because I know he's like on his way out, like he's 90. And
here's what's really scary is, okay, so we hold Biden gets held accountable. He either dementia or whatever, he removes office. Now we've got Kamala stepping
Cackling
up.
Kamala.
As
maybe she'll go to the border then. Has she been yet?
Allegedly she has, but I think I heard that she went to the not so bad portion.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Who the hell knows though?
But would it matter even if she did go? Like, even if she saw what was happening,
what are they going to do?
Matter? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think she cares. Not really. Not deep down. But she is not. She doesn't have the depth or the experience to run the United States.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Like, he steps down or he gets removed.
Yeah.
She's the president.
Yeah. Well, then I ask this question: is Biden really the one pulling the strings now?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Right. And then,
so no way.
What do you think the hope is for? Like, can we make it through the next 4 years without him?
Midterms are our saving grace.
I think midterms are the savings grace. I mean, I can't imagine a world where we do another 3.5 years of this.
I don't know. Gavin Newsom just got reelected, so
I can't see. I don't believe that either.
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
I want someone to explain to me the CNN live, like it happened during Trump's election and it happened again last night, where it'd be like, Elder or no, it was vote yes or no.
Yeah.
Yes for a recall, no for no recall. And the no recall number went from like 2.2 to 1.8. I'm sorry, the yes.
Okay.
Because it's the opposite. So whatever they didn't want to happen, the numbers just dropped. And we saw it on live television during Trump's.
So I got people out there that were telling me that before the election, Newsom's campaigns were running ads saying that he was in the lead, and he was already in the lead so much that he was going to win before the election even happened. So like people were just like, oh, there's no point in there's no point in going.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a good strategy,
right?
You got to vote. Like the change. What's the dude that always gets made fun of? Mitch McConnell. He's like a real odd looking dude. He was like, I mean, he has a point when he talks about impeaching Biden. He's like, it's not happening. He's like, make your change in the voter box. I mean, we all have to go out and vote.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been.
So this is what's scary, and this is where you could lose the United States if our vote is count, like this Dominion system that has been shown to be fraud that happened in the 2020 election. As long as people believe that their vote counts and what their opinions say, like that matters to federal government and their state government, then the people are appeased. If you lose, you lose. There's obviously more people on the other side. So we lost this time, no big deal. We'll have to get them next time. You know what I mean? But as soon as you start putting it out there, or the people start feeling that their vote doesn't matter, well, now you've lost democracy. Now you're like, well, this is just a dictatorship, and now people will rebel because they want to have a say in what happens to them.
Because it's supposed to.
Because that's the way it works. This is America. This is the way it works. So as soon as you remove that and you create a system to where it's like Colombia or whatever, like there's no point in voting because it's a fucking rigged system.
Now it's violence.
Right. Now people are going like, well, now you're putting things in here that I didn't vote for. Well, nobody voted for, and and that's how you start a rebellion. And that's what's really scary is the vote that has to be protected. Yeah. That at all costs.
But hey, your ID, having an ID is racist. Like how is it?
It goes back to their hypocrisy again.
Yeah, like how you got to have an ID to do everything.
Yeah.
But not to vote.
But passport. I mean, that shows you right there, right? Yeah. So a vaccine passport is okay. Voter ID is not okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Meanwhile, according to the stats, like the majority of unvaccinated people are black and brown. So like, is that not racist? Like you're crashing down on black jobs.
Well, I mean, that's their not that people realize that, but that is the left's agenda at the end of the day.
What was that quote? It was politics is getting votes from the rich while getting money from the poor. I'm sorry, getting votes from the poor and money from the rich, and making them and convincing them both that you're on their side.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yep.
That hit.
Yep.
It's nasty.
So what do we do?
What do we do?
Yeah, what do we do?
We got to vote. I mean, we guess we have to, because that's the last line of defense. We have to vote. I mean, because the other alternative, no one wants the other alternative. People talk about, like, people I'm around, that Civil War. No one wants that. And even people that say they want it, they don't understand what it means.
And I'm glad you said that, because I get really, they're like, we got to, all these vets and all these guys need to, step up and take responsibility and come and take it and start the revolution. I'm like, listen, let me be real clear. Unless you've been to combat and you've seen that kind of horror, like, don't open your mouth. Because nobody that's seen combat wants that. Because let me tell you what happens if it ever came to a place in America where we had to fight on our own. Like, the only thing that's happening is young men are dying again. Yeah. Like, your sons and your brothers and your husbands are dying. Yeah, that's the reality of it. Yeah. And I'm not saying that we wouldn't win or it wouldn't change, but there's going to be a freaking a large pool of blood to get there. And we're not prepared for that.
No one wants that.
We're too fucking soft for these days to deal with that.
Yeah.
So
people don't know. Like, and you would think they would hear stories about Bosnia and all those places that had their own civil wars, and it's just Gad Sad has written some books where he talks about like, hey, I've actually seen the shithole that is a civil war. You know what I mean? Like, you walk down the street, you're getting sniped.
Yeah,
like that is a civil war, and
because
that's what
of who
people
you
say
are,
they
because
want.
of what side you're on.
Yeah, like, no one wants that. No one's ready to get rid of technology. No one's ready to like not have electricity. Like people don't want that.
So
shit.
you need to, you know, if you're the one, you know, whatever side you're on, do your research
and like we kind of talked about,
educate yourself, be educated.
This past week is one of the big overall goals, and hopefully what's come from some of this is that people are educating their families again on freedom and liberty and the things that are important. You know, I think a lot of that kind of this generation hasn't even really thought about. There's a lot of things they don't even understand about it because they've never had to. It's never been threatened.
It's been a given.
Yeah.
Like life is just so good. Like, think about it. Life is so good now that the only thing, like masks, like that's our biggest threat to society. Yeah. It's not hunger. It's not dehydration. It's not neighboring tribes or neighboring, you know, whatever. It's whether or not, like, life is good. And like, and people that, like, I always thought, I think that suffering's relative. You know, like, you might think that it's bad, but really think about how worse someone else has.
Go to Afghanistan right now.
That never
you want to talk about suffering? Go to Afghanistan right now.
It's,
you're complaining about COVID and your mask. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, people don't understand because they haven't seen it. You know what I mean? And they think like that.
That's their world, right? This is the biggest thing that's happening in their world right now.
It's not their fault because they don't know any better. They're just ignorant.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, I don't think that's an excuse.
Yeah,
like, educate
yourself. There's information
yourself
out there now,
right?
Yeah,
educate yourself. You know, get educated on the subject.
Get outside your circle.
And when it comes down to it, it always comes down to freedom. Like, freedom for me, freedom over everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Freedom of choice, everything. Yeah.
Like, everything has its limits. You don't have freedom to go do something horrible.
No.
But, you know, social freedom.
Well, I mean, yes, you do.
Yeah.
And
you do.
And you're going to suffer the consequences.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
If you want to go be an asshole, be an asshole. But guess what? Someone is going to catch you slipping.
You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
But there's
consequences to it all.
Yeah, cost.
So again, same thing with the vaccine. Don't get the vaccine. There's a consequence to that, right? Yeah. You might get sick. You could die.
Oh, you can still spread it too, though, by the way, if you have the vaccine.
Yes, I don't know.
I don't know. It's crazy. What is it even doing? Like,
it's not so bad.
Yeah, you get it.
Well, let me tell you.
When you get it, you don't get it so bad.
Let me tell you. I've been around people that have the vaccine, and they are fucking crippled. Like, they are down. Yeah.
When they get it?
Yeah. And I'm over here just like running the best miles of my life, just living it. You know
have
what I mean?
you gotten it?
No, I don't know. I went to go get an antibody test. And Harris Teeter was sold out, 2 locations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I want to know. Like,
I'm pretty sure I
want to laugh in the face.
I'm pretty sure I have.
Like, it's like supposedly like super transmissible, right? So like we've had to have had it.
I think I've gotten both variants.
Back in July, I had this wicked stupid cough. Like, just
that's probably it.
What
blood type are you?
O-pos.
Oh yeah, so you probably did have it.
And people say that. They also say bugs are more attracted to O-pos people too.
I
don't. That's just
I don't know.
That's just some random shit, bro. I don't fucking know.
I don't know, man. I know that mosquitoes love my ass.
Yeah. What are you?
APOS.
APOS.
So they say that it hits APOS a little harder. And I got sick for about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sick for about a month. So I think I had the
that
D.
plus your Afghan lung.
Oh yeah, I got some lung issues.
That shit can't be good for us.
No, bro.
Just sucking in dust, just like in the sitting in a turret, just sucking on, you know, whatever
air shit.
Bacteria
that's in there.
Air shit. Did you get that letter from the VA? They just rated.
Well, yeah, they're basically saying that the burn pits and the dust in Afghanistan, like there's a whole. If you serve from this time to this time, like you have to go get evaluated with the VA for your lungs.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah,
that's good.
Took them long enough.
Yeah, people. You know, I've had some bad experiences with the VA, but I haven't had like. I think you. I remember you. Maybe you've had some like shitty experiences with the VA.
I've had some really shitty. They tried to kill me.
Like, whoops, we gave you the wrong 2 medicines to take.
Yeah, sorry you went into respiratory arrest. Sorry about that.
Fuck.
You know, like Fragoni. Yeah, I was thinking about him when it was happening. I mean, it's in the book. So if you guys have read the book, my book, Excommunicate Warrior, you know about this whole story. And thank God she was there. I probably would have died if she wasn't there.
Yeah.
They mixed Lunesta and some sort of was it like Zoloft or something, babe?
That sounds great.
Yeah, something
together.
Yeah, something to put you to sleep.
and put you down.
Yeah.
And she said, take these together.
Night.
Yeah, she said, take these together. It'll calm you down. You'll sleep better, and you'll be less. This is like way
And then they have those dream erasers too, right? So he was already taking that.
Adrenaline blockers.
So the adrenaline blocker plus the.
So falling asleep and my breathing was slowing down.
Yeah,
just like
good.
sent me into
Yeah.
sent me into like a panic attack.
Fuck, man.
And I'm like passing out at simultaneous. It was wild, man. But thank you were there.
I've experienced a little bit of that with people.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So
drugs aren't the answer.
Anyway, so wrapping up this long podcast, go check out Will's business, which his URL is
MysticIslandCratoms.com. MysticIslandCratoms.com.
Yeah, man.
That's a good sound.
And then obviously, the Agogi. We'll talk about the Agogi real quick. You know what I've got going on with it?
Yeah, actually, dude that works at my warehouse has done it. He did the 30-day thing.
The 30-day challenge?
Yeah.
How'd he do?
I think he did all right.
Yeah?
He did good. I think him and his wife both did it, and they enjoyed it.
Awesome.
And they're about to do it again, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's been a year.
It's
so
no
they're about
joke.
to do it again. Yeah,
it's no joke, man. It's a good kick in the pants.
It's a great way to stay healthy during a
yeah,
pandemic.
right?
Because you can get the workouts for your home gym and anything. So
Look at that. Look at you selling it. So, yeah, $99, you're going to get a diet plan, macronutrient plan. You're going to get a meal plan. You're going to get 30 days of workouts. You're going to get a schedule. And it's all convenient in an app. And we do live feeds. Josh and I will do live feeds once a week, talking about kind of walking you guys through the process when we start and all the way through. And it's one of those, it's a kick in the nuts.
I love a good kick in the nuts.
And then you can win if you win. The last person that won was actually a couple. So they put in $200, or $198 it cost them to do it, and they won $1,500.
That's what I'm talking about.
And you lost 20-something pounds.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures of the transformations on your page, man.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's exciting. So the challenge is live. You can go to agogichallenge.fit and get signed up there, and then we have monthly coaching as well, and everything else we have going on, the one-on-one stuff. And that monthly coaching is about making people. That's really diving into the weeds of kind of some of the stuff we've talked about, and just really leveling up your life. So that's the Agogi, and then we have Core Med Group. Links are below for that. For if you're over 30 and you're not recovering and you're feeling like shit, you're not sleeping like shit, and the gym's just not doing what you're doing. Your libido might not be what it is, and you just don't feel like you used to, right, Will?
That's a flaccid sound.
Get on that TRT
definitely,
train
for sure.
Love me some testosterone. And then the favorite one, which Will's going to go through right now, is he's got his box.
Mine?
Johnny, it's all yours, bro.
Oh, man, that's what I'm talking about.
Johnny Slicks, 100% organic. It's our organic grooming company.
It's a T-shirt?
Yeah, some stickers. This Johnny made, look how presentable he made this for you.
I'm going to have to thank him.
Yeah.
These are going on my laptops.
So this is what we want to do, though. We want you to smell these and get your
and
your
then
opinion.
do some ASR and get real serious about the scents.
Yeah.
Oh, that's out of my wheelhouse. So what we got here? Paradise conditioner.
Well, here, smell this one first. So that's the conditioner. We got conditioner. We got
all right. So we got
body wash.
Paradise organic pomade.
Yeah, crack that open.
Lemony sweetness.
It's like a Starburst.
Yes.
Does it smell like Skittles to you?
Yes.
Dip your finger in it, like mess it. Yeah, it's oil based, so you can
Yeah.
So you can put that on your hair, your beard, and your skin. Yeah.
And what does it do?
Careful though. I know you got a girlfriend now. We've had 12 confirmed pregnancies by people using Johnny Slicks. Like the women smell it and they're like, damn. Yeah, we should do that. We should add like a chicka wow wow. You know what I mean?
I think we have
Beach Care.
Beach Care. So Beach Care is a little bit different formula, and it basically is like.
Okay, this is fruity too. Same thing.
Yeah, same scent. But yeah, so say you get just a little sunburn or something, you can put it on there, or you get a cut. Like you cut your feet while you're you're paddle boarding. I don't know if that ever happens to you.
Don't fight oysters. They win.
But yeah, so as it's healing, that would help. What else do you do with the Beach Care?
I mean, Beach Care is first any sun
Everything,
exposure.
yeah.
Yeah. Hair.
It's good for your skin.
Hair and skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salt, water, post, all that.
That's another pomade. Armagon. That's Allie's favorite.
So what is this? All the same.
It's the
These
same
are all
pomade.
pomades.
Same pomade. Well, this one's not. This is more for your skin.
Okay.
That's pomade. This is pomade.
Okay.
But that one is a different scent, though. Smell that one. Tell me what you think.
Ooh.
That's my favorite.
You like that?
Yeah.
What does that smell like to you?
Armagon. Nature.
Yeah.
If that's,
Teak wood and coconut.
there you go. So
Yeah.
the wood part. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then he gave you some slick lips.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting this on right now.
So
I'm
check
dry as
this.
fuck.
Check this out. So we've got you gotta use your man hands. So
You just saw me dick my finger,
and oil.
dick my fingers in this oil.
Oh man.
My
So
man. Thank you.
so these other brands of, I call it lip gloss. These other brands of lip, right?
What is this?
Hazelnut.
I mean, you caught me like that's a genuine
You're like, wow.
I stopped mid white. Nice.
So other
Brown
brand,
sugar.
other browns, is that what it is? Hazelnut and brown sugar. That's delicious. So
Damn, that shit is.
other brands actually call. You notice how you use it and you never, like, you have to keep using
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I don't. First impression,
Yeah.
not the case.
Not the case, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that they
yeah.
use, they get, I'm not going to say the other brands, but they get you to keep using it.
Yeah.
And actually, if you dig into the ingredients, there's actually alcohol in there,
Dries you back
which
out.
dries you back out.
It's the light bulbs that are meant to burn out after a certain amount of time.
Right. Exactly. So it's the same thing. So you've got some of that. You got some beard oil. I think he's matched it up.
Armagon.
Yeah, there's Paradise beard oil.
Fantastic.
And then
But
you've got
all of that stuff is meant to help with hair growth as well.
thinning
helps
hair.
with the
All
sebaceous glands.
100% organic, man. These are like raw ingredients that we source in the United States.
Right.
All American made. We made them ourselves. We fulfill them ourselves. And
No
yeah, man.
plastics,
What's
no
this?
parabens.
This little.
Beard wash, a little tea tree oil. That's going to give you a little tingle. Nice.
Never mind,
You can wash your balls with that.
dude. The blue powder with the red top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That should have make you stand up straight. You know what I'm saying?
But
All
yeah,
right.
man. That's and I actually use sometimes I use that as a shampoo as well. Just to
So this all smell like the Paradise in the.
I don't know what that one is.
No, that's got its own smell.
Smell
It-
Pop that open.
Pop that open, baby.
Beard wash is just like more of a tea tree smell.
I like it. It's minty.
Yeah.
Like a pepperminty.
Yeah.
Winter greenish.
Yeah. And I guess he hooked you up with. I guess because you're paddle boarding or whatever, he hooked you up with a bunch of Paradise stuff. And
Nice.
what is that one?
Beast Wash Paradise shampoo.
Yeah, yeah. So the
this is from
shampoo-
this is from my hair.
Shampoo, conditioner, and body wash, man. Got you
Fuck
covered.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
So yeah, that's it, man. Hey, listen, if you liked this, I want you to go show Will some love on his Instagram. The guy just puts out the best stories. It's like the best. Allie has to listen to me every single morning with my coffee, listening to Will yell and scream about things that are going on.
I hear you
Yeah.
in the other room. Ah! And then he always goes, I love him so much.
And anyways, so that's, you go check out him. Go check out his business, and all of our sponsors. And if you like this episode, please screenshot this on whatever you're listening to, Apple, Spotify, whatever your podcast app is. Leave us a review on that thing. Screenshot it. Tag us both. We'll share it, and that's how we get this message out of here. And I guess that's it, right, babe? That's podcast 001 with Fairall.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
Adios.